pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call Marion County Commission meeting to order. Special meeting of budget work session.
Do you want me to go ahead and start, or did you want to go over anything first?
I just figured
You want me to
go
start?
ahead and start,
Okay,
and then we can fill in.
wherever needed.
Yeah.
All right.
Is that okay with the board?
I thought you would help me. You're number one, aren't you?
I am number one. Yeah.
That's why I'm here, I was just hiding over there.
And it cuts it off. Hold on one moment. It's cutting off the top part of the sheets. I'm gonna try. Okay. That's just mainly the header, so. Okay, so for the county clerk's office, besides the yearly increases, step raises, I'm gonna budget a raise for Faith effective in January. I plan on revising her job description, and she's gonna have some extra duties. We are to start converting budgets to ADA compliance, so she'll be doing that. Our inventory process, she has new equipment comes in and everything, she's updating that as it goes. And so by the end of the year, she just gives it to the department heads, and hopefully by that time, they can just review it and not make many changes. She is processing and tracking severed minerals. We've been working on cleanup and maintenance of our severed minerals since January. So, and then K-Camp. Also, a raise for myself. I became a certified election official fall of 2025, and the completion to be a certified county clerk will be in March or April of 2027. As of the other funds for the clerk, the 2026 budget, my contractual and commodities fund was decreased by $500 each. And so I would like for my 2027 budget to remain the same in contractual commodities and cap outlay. Any questions on clerk? The next one is the clerk tech fund. This is a non-budgeted fund, but we get a portion of fees from the Register of Deeds office. And I will more than likely need to purchase a computer for Sharon, our real estate clerk. Hers was purchased in 2022. Election. So Michelle will also be completing her certification to become a county clerk end of March or April, so I plan on having a raise in there for her. In January 2028, the statewide election system contract expires. So a new system will have to be purchased, or the current one that we have will be renewed as a new and updated version. The last time the state purchased a new system, the state covered most of the expense. As of now, we're being told the state will not pay for the new system, so to fund the new system, it will be approximately 8 to 12 million split between the counties.
Will that split be prorated based on population?
We haven't been told that, but I would think so.
So, I mean, if you take that 12 million divided by 105 counties, that's like $114,000 per county, and
divided by 12.8 million.
The clerk
And then
association.
Multiplied by 12,000.
yeah.
Gets way
Lobby that with the legislature.
more.
I have not heard yet.
Should.
It is a system that's needed though.
Just another mandated tax,
Yes.
Unfunded.
unfunded tax.
Yep.
So along with the new system and the current system, we do have a yearly cost that we pay for our workstations. The current yearly cost statewide is $650,000 and will increase to approximately $1 million. We currently pay $2,900 per year for our workstations. The state is suggesting we budget 3 to 4 times more just for our yearly cost. So just need to start budgeting for the annual expense and the initial cost of the new election system. So I was gonna talk with Tina on what I already have, on whether we wanna start budgeting for that in 2027 or how we want to do that.
And your user fees won't go up until the new system is in place, correct?
Right.
Okay.
And then, of course, I'm hoping to purchase precinct tabulators in 2027 as long as they are approved under the new voting guides.
Now, those new precinct tabulators, when they go to a new election system, that's not gonna make them all obsolete and have to redo
No.
everything.
No.
Contractual services, what,
For election?
what is that? What is
There's Jonah.
That's you.
Is that me? Sorry. Sorry. Can't get to the mic.
I can't be
There
there.
you go.
Okay.
I thought I was going.
I thought I was.
I thought I knew what was going on.
Right? Okay, what was your question?
What all is involved in contractual services at $65,000? What does that entail?
So that would be our workstation. We have,
That'd be like all the servicing of the machines. It would be, all the different vendors we have for election, that we buy stuff from, all of our machines.
publications, I think, come out of that as well. Programming.
Well,
Red blood though.
and then the capital outlay, $103,000 from 2026 and again in 2027. What is that?
That we started budgeting for the new precinct tabulators. And then we pay all of our poll workers out of the personnel services. That used to be in the contractual, and then we moved it to.
So between the
That's my golf game right there, you know?
$406,000 in 2026 and 2027, I'm assuming that the 2026 is going to be added to the 2027 to.
So, no, not necessarily. We're gonna have, typically, we wouldn't put that big of a jump in. So we would need, when we get it into the budget document, that's when you can see that. Because we put, if we're not gonna spend something in the current year, then we can add it to next year. So if, it's gonna, it may not jump up that full amount.
We may just do
Like a step.
a little bit in 2027 and the rest in 2028.
You'll see, it'll become more clear when we actually have the information in the budget form. Right now, this is just the request of the 203,000. It may be a little bit more or a little bit less depending on how you all make your decisions on the fund.
So how much do the 10 new precinct tabulators, how much is that gonna cost?
Well, we have an old quote, and of course, we're gonna have to get a new one. And I think this quote had extra stuff on it as well.
Yeah.
So it was $150,000. And then there was maintenance and supporting fees of $12,000.
But they also said depending when they come, cause they have to update the rest of the machinery that works with the precinct tabulators. That they may have to replace her computer completely, because it's from 2018.
But if we also do the updates when we get serviced, which we get serviced every other year, then that's one cost that won't be addition. We won't have that extra cost because it would just go in with our service.
Which we did just get service.
Yeah, so that would be in 2028, so. If that makes sense.
So as the departments come in with their requests, this is just what they're requesting for 2027. It doesn't necessarily, like if we're trying to save for something, you'll see that reflected on the budget document when we get to that point, and it'll.
Which, and I kept everything the same except the personnel services did increase. But we have to discuss how to be able to budget for the statewide election system.
And that will be budgeted through the capital outlay line item as well. That's an area where we save for future needs.
Loss of limb only.
So out of all three budgets, I haven't increased anything except the personnel line.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
I hate unfunded mandates.
That is all I have.
So just since we have a couple minutes, what you're gonna see today are the requests of each department. Generally speaking, well, always, personnel services is salaries. Contractual includes services such as utilities, phones, printing, publications, all of those things. Commodities includes things that we use up, supplies, et cetera. And then capital outlay is for large purchases or projects. And in that instance, there may be in certain funds, we set a goal of what we're trying to build to, and then we increase that each year or carry it over each year to be able to save up for specific items. And if it's not going to be spent in the current budget year, then a portion would be added and carried over for the next budget year. So you'll see that on all of the requests. And if you have questions about any of that, you're encouraged to ask. So thank you for asking questions.
Start with the noxious weed department. Personnel services, I lowered it, but split it between the household hazardous waste. Between myself and my guys, we do a lot with the HHW, so I assumed that was fair to move part of that over. The contractuals, I went up just a little bit, usually pretty close on that, but with everything going up, I just kind of went up a few $1,000s on that. Commodities, I left it the same. That's where a lot of our chemical and some other bills come out of. We've been staying under budget on that for several years. I figure leaving that one fine. Capital outlay, just keeping it the same. And then the transfer out is a $20,000 transfer out to my other capital outlay for my equipment, spray equipment. Just trying to save up money to be able to get another new spray truck and new equipment on it and get that all updated too. questions on that one.
So Josh is one of the only ones that has, there are just a couple that have their own equipment fund. And so that noxious weed capital outlay fund transfer, that's where we save up for spray equipment.
That also does get sent to the state when I do my reports yearly, so I kind of know what we're doing and all that, so. HHW did raise the personnel services, like I said, it's like to split that one between HHW and the noxious weed. My guys are doing both there, so I feel that's fair.
Well, can I just mention one thing on that?
Yeah.
So sure, we have had 2 employees over there. They do both weed and HHW. So this is just reallocating salaries to more adequately reflect the time spent in HHW, because prior, only Josh's time was being split between. And so that HHW is in the solid waste fund, and we do have a little bit of money sitting there. So this could help with the budget process to actually split the salaries according to where they're spending their time.
Thank you, Tina. Contractual, I've left that the same. We've just always had that. Never went up, never went down, but we've always been under budget on that line item.
That is,
The contractual, that's, a lot of our household hazardous waste items that we send out, we're doing a clean out today, for example, that'll go to the facility. That facility has Clean Harbors come and pick it up, and they divide it out, and then I get billed for what's in those containers, and that's what pays there.
asking for clarification. That's what I thought it was, but I don't wanna assume.
Yeah, perfect. And I actually mistyped on my commodities. We usually have 1,200. I added an extra 0. That is, I fat fingered that one. Sorry about that. But I'm just going to leave that at the $1,200. It's just for last year we used that money. We bought floor dry. We used floor dry we got to put in the bottom of our barrels. When we ship things out, if there is a leak, then it soaks it up. Or if we have a problem where we can mix our latex paint in with it and we solidify it, and then it can go straight to the landfill. And then the capital outlay, there's a couple, just leave that the same. There's some equipment that we bought this year. We bought a new spray puncture. That was this year. That was this year on stuff. But I just, I figure we just leave that the same, and if we need something, I can have it, because there's sometimes it just comes up.
So the idea potentially with shifting some personnel over here is that perhaps some of these other line items might be able to be reduced. So we don't see a giant increase here.
That's fine.
Because if historically you're not utilizing all these funds, that is the purpose for putting some personnel out of here.
Perfect. Other than that, that's all I have on that one. Transfer station. I have budgeted for a new trailer. It's been a few years since we bought a new trailer, just to keep everything rotation, keep up on new stuff. Our personnel services is gone up. Looking at trying to hire and have 4 people on the floor. That way, two of them can be picking trash, cut tires, and we can rotate them in and out, and two on the floor while they're out doing that, trying to keep things looking a lot better. And then I'm gonna have to pull from the weed department, my guys over there to help them out too. That was the increase on that one. The contractual is going to take, I'll say we'll be over budget on that line item this year. I'm not hoping by much, but we will be over due to the C&D and everything, but we're still getting, reimbursed for all the C&D that we have, but that still comes out of that line item.
So what that means, we're gonna be spending more, but we're also gonna be receiving more income. So it shouldn't cause a cash shortfall because of that. We may have to republish the transfer station budget, amend it for the current year to be able to give ourselves authority to spend the extra revenue.
You're coming out even then.
I'm hoping, but yeah, we're coming out even on, what we're getting in, they're paying up. Also the increase on that is next year, Butler County Commissioners had a meeting and they're raising the rate up to $54 a ton. We are paying $42 a ton right now. So that is a huge increase for us next year. I think we're really gonna have to probably raise the fees for residential and businesses to help cover a lot of that too. So
Do you know offhand your total tonnage for a year?
I'm thinking right around, I don't know, I might be short.
Can you just,
I'm thinking about 8,500 tons is what we're average a year.
So you checked with any other landfills to see what they're gonna do with rates?
I'm looking at landfills, but I'm also looking at distances, our time it's gonna be,
Sure. But it would be nice to know what other landfills, what their rate are.
Yeah.
Or they didn't let you in.
And that's something, I started on, but I hadn't gotten too far on that one. I've got some closer landfills that I was gonna reach out and talk, but I feel like I need to sit with Tina and, go over those two before I really.
I guess the thing that bothers me is that the counties that have landfills has become a cash cow for them.
It has.
And they're riding it hard.
The Butler County, they lost Waste Connections or Waste Link last year. So they're trying to fill that deficit. That's almost,
It's a big one.
it's a big deficit that they're trying to fill that hole. That's why a lot of rates are going up. So, but I'm all for looking at other places too. So like I said, started in on that one to figure out who we can haul to and if they'll take us and what we can do with them.
Geographically though, we don't have very many options.
No, we're up in, I think the next closest is an hour, it's an hour and a half one way. So we're putting at least 3.5 hour turnaround where we're at a 2.5 hour turnaround. We're at an extra hour. And then it just, time-wise, turnaround keeps going up. So
But if that rate is
significantly lower.
significantly lower, then you have to look at it.
Yes, exactly, so.
one thing on transfer station, in case the board needs a reminder or wasn't aware, transfer station pays all their own expenses, so including employee benefits. So their personnel figure that you see, it includes all the employee benefit costs. And that's unique to this fund because it's like considered an enterprise fund or a business type fund. It's completely right now funded by those fees, and everything we take in, it is no ad valorem taxes.
I know it's talking budget, but it's been a long time since we put on the ballot whether or not a landfill was something that the county would be interested in. I know it got voted down in the past, but it might be a good time to educate the public that we're getting expenses 20% year over year. And it may not save us any money, but may stop the bleed.
We tried to get a public.
Yeah.
Part of, when you're doing your, comprehensive and strategic planning and you're having those meetings for that, that would potentially be a good time to kind of gauge the public's
And that,
feelings about it.
I don't know which way I voted on it, but I didn't go with the majority that time. And I could see paying somebody else over and over, and it was sometimes.
I just have a question, Josh, so you said 8,500 tons. Rate increases from 40,
850. 850.
8,500 tons.
8,500.
Yeah.
Rate increase is $12 a ton,
Mm-hmm.
42 to 54, that's 102,000. And your contractual services jumped to 170,000 from 350 to 520. That's like 68,000 over.
Also, our contractual also comes out, our fuel comes out of that, and any repairs to the truck comes out of that line item too.
One thing to think about, we have had a ton of repairs this year on equipment. And our trucks especially, they're getting older. So we're either gonna be spending on equipment or repairs. The board probably needs to decide which one makes more sense.
Commodities, I left that the same. Been always slightly on that, under budget on that one. Capital outlay, when we do get trailers, we're about anywhere from $80,000 to $100,000 for a trailer. Just depends on the year. And then the recycling contractual, we did not have any money in that for this year, so we were eating the cost on that and losing money. But we do have people, we, give or, pay for the recycling and everything, so that we do have that cash flow back to us. I just added that back in there, so we do have a line item budget for that, so.
Hillsboro's still paying for their recycling, but everything else just comes from individuals then?
Individuals, and they pay the $5, minimum fee for the few bags that they're bringing in, so. That is all I have on that, so.
In your packet, you do have, how many units, how much it costs, the commercial, and what classification, the residential. So the total is $812,637.50. I was curious of how much we actually receive for the 2024 taxes that were collected in 2025. It was $806,941.57. And then for the 2025 taxes collected in 2026, we still need the September and October distribution, but so far it's $711,439.34.
And we budgeted revenue of 800,000 based on that. We'll have more discussion on this on Monday before we pass a resolution to establish that fee for the upcoming year. But you also have time to discuss it now, I think, if you want to. Any other questions or comments for Josh?
I don't see that solid fee assessment, unless we go way up on it, is gonna fix anything. I mean substantially.
Do you have a current list of your service fees, what you charge for each thing? Could you send it?
I can get it and send it and show you what we charged for and stuff, so.
C and D is gonna be a much higher figure over the next 2 years, I would think.
Now that's,
Because I mean, you're in probably a 2-year cycle to.
There's,
Damages.
yeah, there's a couple that I've heard from roofing companies, they're booked for 2 years.
that's 5,300.
You know, that's what I consider a local, is ones we see
Residential.
Good news, bad.
monthly, you know, weekly, we see them
So is the
weekly.
majority of that coming to the transfer station?
Yes, yeah.
Two.
Yeah, we're taking in a lot of cash, you know, they've got a lot of these little companies, they're paying these guys to come in, they pay with cash, so we got a lot of cash inflow right now from them.
Let's see. Residential Housing Authority. That one's not tied in.
And Josh, your fuel is coming out of commodities.
Oh, it's coming out of commodities?
Residential Housing Authority.
I think your contractual might be able to come down.
So there's another
Yeah.
one at 1.3.
Yeah, I was thinking wrong on that one, so.
That's a
I
60.
think it used to a long time ago, kind
I
of.
think so, so they switched, okay.
And
Yeah, we could probably come down on that one.
If I'm reading it right.
41.
If we add in $800,000 projected assessment fee.
330.
And all the other projected incomes, we're looking at a shortfall of about $390,000.
65.
If I did the math right.
57.
I can bring this to you on the actual budget document using 2025 actuals, end of year and year to date, on Monday, if that's helpful. That's 7/11/439, as of what date?
And I guess my question would be,
So we just
the rates that we're charging for construction and demolition, I mean, that still costs us $54 a ton to dump it.
It will, yeah, cause we do mixed loads and stuff, so it's gonna cost us $54 to go down there.
So are we gonna, I'm assuming you're gonna increase your
C
C
and
and
D
D.
rate, yeah, that'll increase too.
How many tons of how much C and D typically do you?
Right, anywhere from 150 to 200 tons a month is what the C and D, is what we haul in with our C and D. And it varies month to month, but you know, these next several months, you know, we're gonna have a higher rate of C and D.
So if you ballpark, you figure 2,000 tons of C and D per year, that ballpark. Take that off the 8,500.
Since they had this already drawn up and pulled it, pretty standard. I mean, they could.
I mean, I can go in, take time, and I can break down our C and D that we, you know, average out and our MSW and separate those two to get a lot closer MSW hauling in and what our C and D would haul into, if that's what you guys would like.
Well, I guess I don't wanna put all this increase on the residents in a special assessment. I'd like to see those increases be spread out over the C and D waste, the white goods reimbursement, I mean, the tires.
The white goods don't cost us anything. We bring it in, we have a company, they come pick the bin up and they pay us for it. So we don't have no cost for white goods.
But we charge to dispose of them. Right.
We don't charge white goods disposal because we
We
recycle
have
it.
a line item for revenue for.
The
So
revenue.
so we don't charge for disposal, only we receive revenue when
Yeah,
you come get it.
we receive just the revenue from that piece of it.
Okay.
I guess my point is, C and D need to be adjusted. I mean, we can't just say, you know, we're gonna put all this on.
I understand you.
on-
Yeah, I can break it all down and get a bigger, you know, a closer number to on that, so.
You know, I'll allow time on the agenda on Monday to really to evaluate and for you all to be able to discuss all this a little bit more.
I just don't wanna say we need to make up this $400,000 and put it on the backs of the
One group.
With the transfer station, we do have other options.
What about the housing authority? It said it's 6250. Is that dictated by something?
By your resolution, you have set it there.
Okay. I just didn't know if that was a state thing or for a lower income type thing or what it was.
The reason that it's lower is because on those housing authorities, typically they don't have a dumpster for every unit, every housing unit.
Okay. So it's just a one pickup spot. I get it.
What encompasses the housing authority? Is old folks home part of the housing authority?
I think it's in your resolution, how it's defined, and we'll send it out as part of the packet.
Well, I mean, if it's income challenged, whether it's fixed income, retirement, or even if it's low income, it's not really one we're gonna be messing with a whole lot.
I know that the housing authority, the only one I have any experience with or know about really is the one in Peabody. And so they have, they're both of, I think all of their housing authority properties do have income
guidelines,
restrictions or age restrictions. I can't speak to that in other cities.
But I know the new housing, that's more of a moderate income. That's not low income housing.
Not when the guy's living there driving Hummers, I wouldn't call it.
You found one there already?
Yeah.
But
Used one maybe, huh?
yeah, the fixed income retired people are the ones that I'm really concerned about.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, they're not keeping up with inflation at all on their checks.
And if you look at that assessment's based on what, if I remember right, 2 cubic yard per month
I think.
is the base. I think I read that in the resolution. I don't generate that much trash. I couldn't fill up a 2 cubic yard dumpster in 2 months.
I think I do.
2 cubic yards or less.
2 cubic yards or less is a unit,
Okay.
collected once a week.
I think I would if I didn't have the recycling. I'm splitting it out.
At 2 cubic yards a week.
It's just like a standard size trash cart, I believe. Yeah. The way it's defined, a unit of solid waste is 2 cubic yards or less of solid waste collection one time per week over a period of a year.
I guess I'm saying, me personally, I couldn't generate 2 cubic yards in a week. I don't generate that in a week.
I haven't brought 2 cubic yards of waste to the transfer station in my life.
That's the affordability you have for being in the country. You have other ways to dispose of things.
Burning
We can't get away with that in
about
town.
once a year, it's a little difficult.
Can't get away with that in town.
I gotta pay.
Yes, these are all topics, so maybe there should be something different, maybe.
Yes, Josh, while you're here. The tire cutter, is there any way we upgrade it to electric, put it right there close to where we can chop them tires, never take them down below and make a mess? If they go in the trailers now as they're chopped, can we facilitate that for efficiency?
Yeah, I just found out today that our tire cutter's been broke down for a while, so that is the main topic that I'm gonna work on, trying to get it fixed and going.
Is it mechanical brake or is it an engine brake or is it?
I don't know if it's electrical or what, but they said it was running and it just quit, so I don't know where we're sitting out on that right now, so.
They walked off, huh?
I was thinking if it was up there close, if we can chop them, throw them back on the floor, but it'd have to be up there close and probably need to be on electric.
Yeah.
Flip the switch, and powers the pump.
I don't know if they have anything like that, but I can look into it and.
Well, I think the efficiency would, and it would take hours off a year's time if we can just chop them. Never take them outside, never get them full of water. We have them laying around, get a mosquito away.
We've been getting lately, we get over, we have companies that are bringing tires into us because we're cheaper than having a tire company come pick them up.
Which is also something we should be evaluating.
Yep. So, that's a lot of our.
The unit's not super big, but even if it's just on a slab there close or something outside the door.
That's a great
That way
one.
we just chop them, throw them right back, shove them in the next trailer and not handle them any further.
Mhm.
But I think we would want it on electric. The other question is whether you get a rim crusher where any tire comes with a rim, you just smash it, tire comes off.
Yeah.
Throw the rim in the steel pile, still just chop that tire and go on.
Okay.
That's what I'd like us to see, because efficiency wise, that would save hours and hours. Not have look of them piled up
I understand.
down there, so. I would be very in favor of upgrading that and trying to figure that out.
Okay.
I think it would save thousands over the next several years.
Okay.
Very good idea.
I'll look into that.
Thanks for looking into that. I think it'd be a very positive thing for us. Like to help it even.
Right. So, all right. So, thank you guys.
Morning. I don't really have a whole lot prepared for you guys. I'm just asking for the same as I did last year. The only increase would be in the personnel services with the step increases, but that's all I have projected is higher than last year. I don't have any big plans on spending anything. If I do, it would be out of our tech budget for replacing a filing cabinet for our microfilm, and then potentially getting a large-scale scanner to scan old documents instead of contracting with companies to do that and sending out the books. But that's not something that's super urgent.
Do you have any pricing information on that yet, Shelby?
I've looked at some of the filing cabinets and they are very expensive. And I have not looked into the scanner quite as much. I didn't get a chance to talk to the Register of Deeds when I was at seminar that bought one off of Amazon. Those ones aren't terribly expensive. I think hers was, gosh, maybe 500, but I don't know if it's gonna be the size, the scale that,
You want
what's that?
adequate for what we need.
Yeah, well, and I think it would do what I have in mind, whereas it's like scanning our books, the old records, but it doesn't, it wouldn't solve the problem of not being able to scan plat maps when they come in. If we ever get a new plat file, which we have several that have come, like from EBH in Hillsborough recently, and they've been gracious and have provided us with a digital copy of it to where we don't have to have it scanned. But if there ever is one that comes in, we would have to contract with someone to get those scanned and get a digital copy. So that scanner that the other Register of Deeds bought on Amazon would not be capable of
What's that costing us?
to send them
for the
out.
ones we do.
I don't know. I haven't had to do that yet since I've been here, so I am unsure of what that costs. We haven't had many plats in the last little bit, so, and when we have, like I said, they have the capability to scan them for their records, so they just send us a digital copy and then we have one that we.
Most of those are probably generated electronically anyway, so
I think a lot of the time they are, but, I mean, they have to get physical signatures on them from the board and from me and from the clerk, and, so they are digital, I think, to start with, but then they do have to scan them in to get those signatures on there as well. So, but that's, I mean, not a super urgent need.
Just
Well,
going-
well, on Amazon, how would you get it serviced?
That I don't know. Again, I haven't asked her about that, and I don't know even if it's capable of doing the quantity that we would need. She might be only doing it intermittently, whereas we would do it on a continuous basis, like we do our old documents, how we scan them now. It would just be kind of a thing we would do when we're not terribly busy.
I think just going off memory, it seems like some of those scanning projects that Rebecca did, without looking, which is a little dangerous, but it seems like it was 25 to 30,000.
It's incredibly
Something like that.
expensive, yeah. And it depends how much obviously you're doing at a time, but yes,
And then they were like, somehow, do they link it to something to where you can pull it up easily?
yes, yeah, they'll put it like on a disc, I think is what they were doing at the time. I don't know how they do it now. And I think Rebecca did have some quotes from several years ago that she didn't end up following through with because of the cost of it. But yeah, it's incredibly expensive to contract that out. So if we can find an option that's a little bit cheaper, even if
I
it
think
takes
you'd
us
have the
longer.
time with current staff to keep that done if we bought the equipment,
Mhm.
maybe what you're saying.
Yeah, just do a little bit over time and,
Slow day.
That'd be something for across the street.
That's kind of what I was thinking. And also I was thinking that it would be something that the whole county could use. It doesn't have to be specific to my office, that there are other departments that would benefit from having a large scale scanner. So yeah, that's something to think about. I don't have pricing on any of that yet, just because it wasn't something that I needed at this time. So that's really all Yeah, we do have plenty of those slow days sometimes. It depends, but we always find something to do, but yeah. Any other questions?
How big of a book scanner do you need?
Oh,
Sure wasn't like that.
yeah, they're probably about this tall, and then when they're open wide, they're probably about as wide as this desk here, I would say. Half, and then when they're open wide,
36 by 24.
that would be my guess.
You can take them apart, don't you?
Probably.
The books, some of them can be taken apart, yes, not all of them. And I think the scanner, the one that I was looking at on Amazon, is designed to just scan it as it sits open. You don't have to take the pages apart. Somehow it has a camera that can, if it doesn't lie exactly flat, I think it can still digitalize it.
Saves a lot of labor time.
Mm-hmm.
And damage potentially to the books. Like think in the clerk's office, like those minutes, the old commission minutes, those books are pretty
Brittle.
large, pretty large.
Yeah.
Yeah, so probably 36 by 48.
Yeah, probably. And the treasurer's old textbooks and some different kinds of historic records that I
I've seen
can.
some of those that are at least 2.5 feet tall.
Yeah, they are.
They had to take them apart last time, I think. It was the big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you get the outside companies to do it, they come in and do it all on site. The books never leave the premises. They just do it. I think they have guys that run shifts and someone's always doing it 24 hours for however long it takes them. So
What was that? I know it's old quote, but what was that quote? We used to give them every once in a while on what it would take for just to have an outside. Just knock it out.
I don't know. I can look at what Rebecca has from her old stuff, but
I don't know.
It's not expensive, but
Well, I know it's kind of expensive, but so
I mean, if the departments can share the cost of it, I mean, that would be something I think to think about.
I'm looking at it from an internal right now because we're cleaning up some inventory and doing some stuff, and the 40 grand to have somebody come in and do it and re-identify everything. I got 4 guys at any given day sitting there messing with freaking inventory, so 40 grand is gonna be cheap at the end of the day. Sometimes you gotta look at the outside, that how much time and staff are you putting into it, and are you actually saving anything by trying to handle it all yourself?
True.
So I'm just giving an example of something I didn't wanna bite the bullet on 40 grand, and I think I'm gonna wind up paying 60.
Another day, another dollar turns into millions sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, it's, but you don't see it until you put yourself in it, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah, well this was a dumb move. Should have spotted the bill.
That's like us spending 80,000 to make a bunker to put distillers on. Within 2 years, I got my 80,000 back when I could buy it cheaper in the summertime when the demand's not there. So for another 20 years, I got the capital on everything in there. Bought cheap, because not everybody can hold 200 semi-loads in a short period of time.
Let me ask you this, is that scanning something that could be paid for out of the tech fund?
Not entirely, no. I mean, that is what the tech fund is designed for, is to maintain our records, and that falls into that category. So yes, we can use the tech budget to fund that. It's just what we have in the tech budget wouldn't fund everything, no. That's why they do it in smaller increments over time, because of how expensive it is. So they only scan books from this year to this year, you know, because that's affordable at the time. But it would take a long time to knock all the records out that we don't have digital copies of. We have, I think there was a grant that we got years ago that all of our the oldest books from like the beginning of Kansas record, from patent to I think 1925 were all scanned. So we do have digital records of like the oldest stuff, luckily. But then there is a gap from 1925 to somewhere maybe in the 60s that we don't have digital copies of yet. And then everything from then on, from 60s, we've been working on back indexing because we have those on microfilm, which we have access to in our office, and we have a microfilm reader that we can create a digital image of, and then put in our software program. But there is a gap where we don't have any kind of digitalization on it at all, which is what we would need to work on. Yes, that is what the tech budget is designed for.
Is that something that could be, start budgeting for within not just the deeds department, but 2 or 3 departments? With the end result to, fund a scanner. That'd be done over several years through more than one department.
Sure, I mean, you could
We'd have to staff.
potentially just do it in the general fund.
We'd end up having to staff that too. So that'd be somebody's full-time job, is just taking every
Yeah,
department.
it would affect personnel.
So you were thinking of having someone to just do the scanning, that not every department use the scanner, but have one person that is in charge of the scanner that was
That's just another
another
thought.
avenue.
It's a different avenue of thought.
Different department.
But you could have an outside company do it. And you could do where all the departments are pooling together, and then 1 year, one department, 1 year, another department. Or a smaller department and a heavier department year over year, and kind of.
Some departments, well, for instance, Shelby's department would,
Be a heavier load.
and they would need ongoing, I mean,
Yeah.
you would need to, that's gonna
It
be a
wouldn't be a one and
continual
done,
thing.
yeah.
for them. Other departments, like with the historic records in the big books, we're not using those anymore in almost any department. So that would be more of a one and done. We scan the historical documents and have them then available digitally. And then other documents, you know, they could potentially take over and just make sure that they're scanning in regularly within their own department.
The other thing is,
We have a,
bringing everything online, right? And the other thing that's coming down from, is it state or fed, on the ADA?
Fed.
Where we have to start making stuff to where if you're blind or hearing impaired or whatever, that you have equal access to all those documents. And we're gonna have to step up to that. Here's another unfunded mandate, I think. It's, but
Shelby's
it's
gonna have to
coming.
learn sign language.
I do know some.
But it is coming.
soon, very soon. We have a lot of old road records. And that would be a high priority as far as I'm concerned, even above the historic minutes and all of that. The road records and those maps and, you know, all of those records would be a high priority as far as I'm concerned for scanning and indexing those.
So are we getting rid of some of these historical documents that have been scanned? Are we scanning them and then still having
We
to
haven't
store-
scanned any except for in Shelby's office.
Yeah, we
And I
can't
think-
get rid of anything.
Yeah, hers is more for access and a backup way to access them if something happens. And if they're then scanned in and they're on a server, we have still have access to them.
We're really not creating any new space.
Right.
That's why they got the salt mines over it. I just,
It can create space, but not
Not in every department, I wouldn't.
right. You could house stuff offsite.
Correct.
True, if you have a
Have to build a
digital.
bigger building just to store stuff.
Right.
Or collapse the attic if.
And not every single thing that we have has to be saved forever. So if we scan it, we could get rid of it.
It also improves staff time in the end. I mean, talking how you get there and why it's important is the FOIA requests and stuff like that. It's way quicker to produce something for somebody and knock it out in a digital format.
And then if you have to go
Go
and
find
look
it.
for it and find it in a box somewhere and, right.
And eventually, I think our office is gonna be mandated to have records available online. To where we won't get email requests or phone calls saying, I need a copy of this. They're just gonna have access to everything at some point. I think that's coming.
It's coming. I
It's
think
coming.
we're
it's scary.
we're underneath the 50,000 threshold, so we've gotten more time on the ADA stuff to get
Population, you mean? Is
Yeah.
that- okay.
to get up to this speed. Other ones aren't so lucky. Some of them got an extension on the moderate sized counties, but
It's 2028.
Yeah, it's 2028 that we have to be
so stuff is coming.
compliant with
So just
our
to let the other way
website.
is not really what we should be doing right now.
So that online, does that come with a lot of security stuff too at that point? Or is that already in our system?
Cybersecurity is always a concern. However, what we're talking about with scanning and having things online, those are all records that should be available to the public regardless.
And they are, they just have to request them from us now, whereas if we go online, they would have access, they would have their own access, they could pay online and just get access to whatever they need, they wouldn't have to necessarily come into
Instead
my
of us
office.
having to print a copy and charge them.
Correct. Correct. But that would require my office getting a whole new software program in order to offer that, which is also expensive. But
That's kind of where I was getting at.
yeah, it's gonna happen, it's just, so we'll
Your
have.
lifetime or the next.
Oh, yeah, it'll be in the next few years, I would imagine, but, cause like the software program we have now I don't believe has that capability to, put all of that online and give access to the public online. There are other software companies that are out there that do that and do it well, so.
It's just like the banks nowadays, everything
And that
is online.
and I'm sure a lot of what you're trying to do in-house is probably just going into a PDF format, right? And so the PDF is actually a problem because when you get into the ADA stuff, it skips around on PDFs. It doesn't actually, it's trying to decipher a picture rather than an actual Word document. So
I see.
it doesn't suffice the need. So the outside companies will have
Job security.
fixes for that so that it can actually,
It reads the document
aloud.
and generates it a different way for.
so there's stuff that we're trying to do on save money, but it might end up costing us later because it isn't sufficient.
Anything else? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you for your work since you've been on.
Thank you.
Thanks for the warning. You're welcome.
Is that more?
Good morning.
We make Marcy aware this is a time limitation on this.
What?
I was just
Well, that's good because I've got a Wildland Fire Communications webinar at 11, so.
Marcy's so thorough, I gotta make a joke.
I tried to keep it simple this time.
One pager.
Yeah, I do.
One
I know.
pager from Marcy?
Yep. I wanna write that
Technically
down.
2 pages.
Better go buy a lottery
She's
ticket.
got a.
I know, right?
Narrative page.
Miracles never sleep.
Uh-huh. All right, you'll see 2 pieces of information in there. One is the budget planning worksheet that Tina always sends out to us. So I put some information on there just to give you a little bit of history on 2025, what was purchased. 2026, I haven't purchased the monitors yet because I'm waiting on, since we have to put the skid on the back of the UTV, I want to wait until that purchase is through before I look at what's left for monitors. In 2027, I would like to get active 911 and active 911 comms. Those are the big ones that I'd like to have included in the emergency management budget. It is a yearly fee for that. That is when a emergency call comes in, dispatch is hooked up to active 911. So you'll actually hear the phone beep at you or alert you that there's an active 911 call coming in. We get those for any time that fire is dispatched. EMS is looking at adding active 911 for some of their EMS staff, and it's kind of a pre-alert. The cool part about active 911 is it also has a map feature. So if you go in and take a look at where the location of the incident is, you can actually click on the map feature and go right to it. So probably the biggest one for our biggest change so far, that first line item, is the active 911. I do not have active comms yet. That's one that we're looking at that I would like to look at purchasing. If you want to see an example of what it looks like, I can give you my cell phone. But based on which department you're looking at, it actually will then keep in there all the calls that we've been to, all the control burns, everything like that. And then like this vehicle fire. So if you go down here, it shows you hydrant locations and you actually can click on the map and go right to it. So that's one thing that's kind of nice about the active 911 or the active alert. It
If
can.
you're not familiar with the location, that'll clarify it a little better, maybe.
Well, and
Staff or whoever's responding.
that's the best part because, okay, when a call comes in to dispatch and they dispatch it out, one of the things that you're required to do is get on the radio and then say, okay, 503 en route. But we are finding that, especially with
some of the advances with GPS and things like that, especially if they're calling from a cell phone, they may think they're one area, but they're actually someplace else in the county. Especially for those who aren't from our county. They don't really.
That's what I'm saying, the unfamiliar to head north instead of south, which I did do a couple times in the last couple of years.
And there's times people will say, oh, I'm on K-15. Well, we have a K-15 South and a K-15 North. So by having those maps actually on there that takes you directly to where it's at,
They're 3 miles apart.
you don't have to call dispatch back and say, hey, what's the address? What's the crossroad? And tie up that radio line. All you have to do is open up your phone, hit the maps, and boom, go.
So who enters the map location? Dispatch?
So
Who enters the map location for a call and sends that page? Isn't it dispatch?
yes.
Okay, and so on the active 911, and I know, and the comms, this budget item, are you requesting it for what personnel? Is it for fire departments?
It'll be for all emergency services. So
How many licenses is it?
250.
Is included in this cost?
Correct.
And is that for comms too?
Yes. That way it would be all of us. It would actually streamline the system quite a bit because as you know, all of emergency services, we do these ID card badges. And that's done through my office because this is a state of Kansas system and you have to have a designated laptop that does this, and that's all it does because of the security of the system. So we know who's coming into emergency services and who should have access to this active 911. It'd be super duper easy. The minute that they turn in their ID card application, I have all the information to enter this person into active 911 at the same time. And so they get their ID card badge and they get their active 911 access all at once. Whether you're law enforcement, whether you are EMS, whether you are fire department, EM, doesn't matter. That when you get this ID card, you get the active 911 access. So, and active 911 is tied in with our dispatch, so that way they can actually get that on their cell phone.
So every volunteer fire person would have this.
Correct. Right. Every single one of them.
What about the handheld? You got now
The radios.
radios.
Yeah, these are what we respond to dispatch on right now. One of the things that is an addition, which you'll see it says active 911 and then active 911 comms. Now what active 911 comms would allow you to do, and this is kind of a neat little feature, I could actually respond on my cell phone to let them know I'm en route. So if this is not sitting right by me, let's say, for example, I'm out in the middle of a field and I'm bringing in wheat that day, okay? And I didn't want to carry a $12,000 radio with me. So this is back in my pickup truck, but this is with me in the tractor. So then active 911 comes in, I can pull up my active 911 and actually respond to dispatch saying, 1243 is en route. And then I can get back to my radio and get it turned on while I'm going to get a truck, would be an example. So active comms allows you, now it's not perfect, it's not this, but it does allow you to respond to dispatch, so dispatch knows quicker who they have going en route, and you don't have to take a $12,000 piece of equipment with you that could be damaged. It could be sitting in your truck somewhere safe. So that's one of the things that's kind of nice about the active comms is it allows quicker response back to dispatch, so dispatch gets a clear picture of who they have en route. So instead of, let's say somebody's out in the field and they only have their cell phone with them because they didn't wanna carry the expensive piece of equipment with them. Then they could respond to dispatch. Dispatch already knows, okay, we've got 3 trucks and 3 responders coming from Lincolnville, so now we don't have to call Lost Springs and dispatch them at the same time. So you already know you have that department.
Mutual aid out of county.
Right, or if, you're not getting any responders from Lincolnville or Lost Springs, you would have to call Harrington. So it would eliminate some of that. They have to wait until they get back to their vehicle to then respond back to dispatch. And by that point in time, we might have already put out a second or a third page. So it's quicker response, letting you know who's en route. And that's what the active comms piece does. Now, it is, it's not a tower. It's not a brand new, 800 megahertz tower that we have. But it is something that can kind of limp us along until we can afford one. So. And that's
Would it interfere with what plan they're on, whether it's Verizon or any of the others?
no, Active 911 is a separate
Should go
app.
through.
This will cure our problem up north.
No, it's not gonna cure it. I wish, but no, there is nothing outside of
A tower.
putting a tower up there that will cure that problem. So,
$1 million tower that he,
Yeah, I know.
well, it's probably 1.3 if you look at it now.
I'm not impressed.
Yeah, it's not cheap,
Thanks for that clarification, Mercy.
so. And you'll see that down underneath number 3, I did put that what I would like to do, and this is just a request because I'm in not charge of risk management, but I'd like you guys to look at or possibly consider starting to put money away for an 800 megahertz tower. And you guys all know I'm all about planning, so that's one of the things that I put right there in the unique situations. I'm not in charge of risk management. You guys are, but I would recommend putting some money away in that 800 megahertz for that 800 megahertz tower. And you're talking, eventually it'll be, right now it's 1.3 million, could be higher.
Start saving for it now, it's gonna be 2.5.
Exactly. So if you can just start putting a little bit away each year into that fund. I know that fund's used for disasters and things like that, but that would then show the constituents we're not just gonna do a sales tax increase or something like that, so. The other thing under number 3, I do not know what changes are still coming at the FEMA level. So of course, you know me, I like grants, so I will go after as many grants as I can. But that one's getting more and more difficult, and we're getting less and less yes from FEMA. On D, on number 3, I would like, since we have land sitting out at 1240, I would like to, to talk about getting a permanent building out there. So we don't have to rent the fairgrounds or anything like that. We've already got the land right there at 1240. So one of the things that's in here is actually looking at a building at 1240. Would have saved kind of insurance claims on a couple of vehicles if we had a building out there that we could even store our own county vehicles in. I would like, and I didn't put it in the budget anywhere, I just, something to consider because I know it's under the lease thing. But I would like to look at possibly getting an emergency vehicle for the deputy director. He's now certified, everything like that, and there have been several times now, close to the end of 2025 and in 2026 where we're going to 2 separate parts of the county for 2 separate calls. So it would be nice that instead of him taking his personal vehicle out there hauling equipment, that he's actually taking county vehicle that has lights and sirens on it. So those are probably the most unique situations.
Would that be,
Go ahead.
that'd be a fleet vehicle?
We need to talk about that. That'll be another discussion on a different day, but yes.
You need a four-wheel drive truck.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because of the places we go, which, I did have some people comment on what my truck looked like after the rains, but we go down roads that, that's active 911, by the way. That's what it sounds like. It's just a control burn, but, we go down roads that are minimum maintenance roads or into fields. When we had that fire call over in Hillsborough, we actually were driving through a couple of fields to get back into that tree line that had fires in 3 different areas. So there's a lot of times that the EM vehicle can't be a car. I would definitely recommend 4-wheel drive. So it gets a little dirty. I promise I'll try to wash it more after these calls, but we've had one rain or storm after another, so got a little dirty. And those are pretty much the biggest ones. If you look down on the budget line items, I did put under budget notes, increase in contractual services for the active 911 and active 911 comms, commodities, that increase is very minor. That's just utilities and fuel have gone up. In the capital outlay, on that line item, you'll actually see that capital outlay, I can take the laptop out of the same as I had for this 2026 budget. So the increase in that is $90,000 for a building project. That might not cover the entire cost, but at least get it started. Because like I said, having a plan for that land out there and doing something about it would be great. Because otherwise it's just kind of sitting there. And then I also put under my budget notes, I know I have no control over this one, it's just a recommendation because I'm a planner. Recommend increasing risk management at least $60,000 towards building a future tower. So, and like I said, those towers are gonna be 1.3, maybe by the time you get to it, $2 million, so.
Do the municipalities take part in that in any shape or form as far as contributing? Because they'd be utilizing it.
That is correct. Some municipalities do utilize it. Mainly, you're talking about your fire districts. And remember, we don't have a constant with the fire districts. Some of your fire departments are city fire departments. Some of your fire departments are Marion County fire districts. So there's kind of different funding sources for those different departments. That would be something that you can decide, I believe, and I don't know for sure how was the only tower purchased? Was that through a grant, Tina? Or was
That's a state tower.
It is, but they helped build it.
No, I believe it's owned by the state.
Owned by the
It's not
state.
owned by us.
Okay.
So we're utilizing their tower.
It's
Their tower.
highway patrol.
KDOT actually,
Okay.
they're the ones who do the maintenance on it.
So your question about funding, in the past, the plan, when you all bought the radios, you were going to charge those out to the different entities, and then you changed your mind and the county funded it completely and didn't require them to pay. And so it's a similar situation to that. If it's an asset that the county is going to be utilizing and wants to have as a preferred method of communication, it could potentially make sense to do that. Right now, some departments use the active 911 and some have been, for the last several years, those have been reimbursed, those subscriptions have been reimbursed or paid directly out of sales tax, county sales tax. So they've been sending the bills here. That started, I think, maybe before Jeff. Yeah. So some of the departments are already using active 911. This would just be
Getting them all on the same page. Any questions? And I'll still be looking at grants for different things because I like to do that, but that's just kind of, I just stuck with the basics or the most important things. I didn't ask for, I know I asked for last year, but I didn't ask for putting in there this year, for like a secretary. Because I don't know if you guys remember or not, but Dan is not full-time EM, he is part-time EM, part-time health. I'm the only full-time employee in the department, so that's one of the things I was looking at was possibly a secretary. I did not put that in this year, I'll wait and see where we're at next year. Anybody have any questions?
All right, how'd I do on time?
We're already behind.
Okay. All right. Thank you and good luck today.
Morning. Take two and then pass them around. Should be a stapled piece of paper and then
sorry, did you change something since you sent them or? Because they already have it in there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I mean,
that should
that's
be-
fine to bring the paper, but.
Yeah, I may have changed some of the wording on this, but I believe that's all.
Okay.
Maybe just move things around a little bit.
Your name came up yesterday.
What's that?
Your name came up yesterday.
Oh.
Butler County.
Oh, visiting with Frank? Yeah, right on.
He said you've been working hard.
I'm doing my best, doing my best. This being my first time, I'm not 100% sure where to begin, so I'll just kind of dive in. The equipment that we're looking at, that we'd like to purchase this coming year, Zoll monitor, a couple of laptops, 3, our stair chairs, our office copier, we went ahead and put that in there. Doesn't necessarily need to be replaced, but it's getting some age on it. And then an office computer for the Hillsborough station. Don't anticipate any personnel changes for the remainder of 26, going into 27. We're fully staffed, so that's good news. We also have 2 in medic school and 1 that's going to begin medic school next year, and then someone that's going to start A in the fall. So that's all really good news. I'm not aware of any unique situations that should be popping up. My biggest concern is always going to be equipment going down, specifically like an ambulance. Not this last weekend, but 2 weekends ago, we actually ended up having 3 ambulances go down within about 48 hours. We were able to get them all up and running. For the most part, it was relatively minor issues. But, had we had 3 major issues, that could have been a very serious concern. Any other matters of importance? Probably just rising costs, fuel costs, commodities for medical supplies. They never go down. Inflation's up. It's been as high as 9% in the last few years. So those would be the, some other areas of concern when we're putting this together. It's gonna be difficult to, to nail the numbers down completely. Let's see here. On the second page, I just wanted to go over each of the pieces of equipment with you guys and the reason that I'm looking at replacing it. The two Zoll monitors, I went ahead and put the cost in there with no grant, so that'd be $95,340. We're gonna attempt to get a craft grant, and that our cost there would be $23,835. Right now, these monitors are still in good working order. Zoll recommends that they get replaced every 8 to 10 years. The two monitors that we're looking at, one was purchased in 18, one was purchased in 19. I don't anticipate getting both of these grants or both of these monitors on the same grant this year, but we're gonna try. Same thing with our stair chairs. The stair chairs that we have right now are a little over 20, or they're right around 20 years old. I believe they were all purchased in 2006. Been really good equipment for us. We don't necessarily need to replace this. The stair chairs that I put in for, these are this is kind of the shoot for the stars type situation for equipment. So the stair chairs that I put in for, Stryker has new hydraulic assisted stair chairs. And the reason we put in for that is it's not really an issue when we're moving a regularly sized individual. Like our stair chairs that we have, they've worked for the last 30 years. People aren't getting any smaller. You get a large gentleman down in the basement, and it's really hard on everybody's back trying to go up narrow stairways and lift somebody that's 400 plus pounds. We've ran into that situation multiple times.
7 foot tall.
Yeah, exactly. And some of these houses are older, so they're not gonna have the really wide staircases. They're gonna be narrow. They're not gonna have the same clearance at the bottom of the staircases. We've identified one here in town that actually has a spiral staircase. It's nice and narrow. And I need to get with the fire department so we can come up with a plan if this individual ever needs taken to the hospital. It may be a situation where a wall needs to come out, so. But that's an extreme situation, but that's the kind of stuff that we deal with. Anybody under 250 pounds, usually we're fine with, but it's more and more common that we're getting people well above 300 pounds. So the cost for these, I believe, is about $17,000 a piece, where the older models are about anywhere from $4,000 to $5,000. Rough estimate on that. Because they're so expensive, we would try and purchase this in conjunction with a grant. We would probably look at doing the Patterson grant for these. I'm not super familiar with Patterson grants. It's my understanding that with the Patterson grant, they will actually pay the entirety of the cost. But if the county was to commit to 25%, it would up our chances of securing the equipment. So that would be approximately $12,905. Let's see here. Next item would be laptops for writing reports while we're in transit going down to Wichita. Right now we have tablets, touchscreen tablets. They don't work very well at all for writing narratives, complicated patients. The screens are small, so like the entirety of the report doesn't pop up. You have to basically go into a certain portion of the screen and enlarge it. Yeah, to get the click down boxes and things of that nature. So we do one for each of the first five ambulances. Approximately 1,000 per laptop. The tablets, I would probably put one in my vehicle and then one in the supervisor vehicle, so they're not wasted and they'd be able to write refusals on those. Then also we put in for an office computer there in Hillsboro. Cost is gonna be approximately $2,000. We had to replace Jamie's computer this last year, and that's approximately what hers cost through Lloyd. So I would anticipate that and that may come in less because we don't we don't have the same requirements for that computer that she had for hers. But the main thing is that it doesn't meet the security requirements for the county. So we're probably gonna need to get that replaced. And then the office copier, yeah, that's, we went ahead and got a quote from the same company. It'd be about $31.80. 7-year-old piece of equipment. It's still working fine. Mainly to put this on your guys' radar that this is a piece of equipment we may very well need to replace in the near future. Again, Lloyd generally recommends 5 to 7 years on our electronics. And then the last thing would be our Marion Station, work on the HVAC system, possibly doing a remodel. I put in 25,000 for this budget item. To be honest with you, I don't know for sure what this is gonna cost. I've been working with Kevin Moon and we don't necessarily know for sure exactly what we're gonna do. Tina's also just, I'm sorry. Tina has also discussed it with Kevin. Just to put some money towards this, I just put in 25,000 for the HVAC system. Also need to replace the carpeting in that station. It's absolutely just, it's gross. We should probably get rid of carpeting and go with some scratch resistant vinyl flooring. The things that we step around in our field, we don't wanna drag that into. I mean, you guys can imagine if it's icky, we step in it. And it doesn't come out of carpeting very well. It's not sanitary. Let's see. And then also possibly looking at adding a second restroom over there. So both crew members are able to use the restroom at the same time, especially when somebody's taking a shower in the morning, call drops. You don't want to delay on a critical call where somebody's they gotta hop out of the shower and the other person needs to use the restroom. Things of that nature. Exactly what all that's gonna look like, we don't know for sure, but we definitely wanted to put something in the budget so it was on your guys' radar. And we also still have on the first page, the 200,000 for the Peabody station. I'm not 100% sure, what the commission plans are going forward for a Peabody station. But there is a possibility that we could also use some of that money as well for the Marion remodel. Going through the personal services up at the top, we went ahead and left that the same. I don't anticipate that we will need more than the 1.5 that we have there. I did go ahead and add for contractual services. I went ahead and added 3% for inflation. Training budget, we went ahead and left that, training budget, we went ahead and left the same, as well as the uniform budget. I think those are both appropriate. Commodities, I went ahead and added 5% to that because it seemed like we were a little low last year on the projections. So that's one of those situations where the things on the ambulance, like we just have to have them. Medications can go up. None of that stuff ever goes down that I'm aware of, so. And then for the capital outlay, the only thing that I put in there on that line item was the Zoll monitors, the 2 Zoll monitors. But if you look down below, that's where I went ahead and put the other items that are not in the budget. So the 3,000 for laptops, the 12,900 for the stair chairs, the 25,000 for the station remodel and the 3,000 for the copier. So those are not in the budget right now. I would definitely like to add the laptops and the stair chairs. Those would be the 2 that I would absolutely really like to be added in there. Other than that, we came in very close to our budget last year. There wasn't much of a raise. The director vehicle replacement, we didn't need to worry about that. That's being taken care of through fleet. And then the 35,000 for the rescue services, we left that the same. It's my understanding with speaking with Tina that a good portion of that money's already been spent for this year through the fire departments. So, you gentlemen have any questions for me?
How's the new billing service working out?
I like them. It's, I don't wanna say it's been seamless, cause we're still learning each other's systems. They're great ladies, really easy to work with, communicate well, so I'm very pleased with them.
You've been building, getting money back in. I know.
I'm sorry?
You get money back right away then.
Yes, yeah, money's starting to come in, so that's good news.
I have a question.
Yep, shoot.
So on your, you have 20,000 in capital outlay for this year
Yeah.
in the current year budget. Do you have, potentially, could we purchase some of the, like your computers and things like that
I'm hoping
from
to.
this year's budget?
Yes, I'm hoping to.
So that we don't have to increase a lot for.
Yes, absolutely. And I would know more about that probably, closer to fourth quarter, I guess, would be.
Do you have any other plans for your 2026 capital outlay? current
No,
year?
when that was put in there, because I kind of parachuted in right in the middle of the budget season last year.
Parachuted, I missed.
So I didn't have a plan as far as the 20,000 went.
Okay.
The way I was looking at it is every year there's equipment that's gonna be replaced or new equipment that we're gonna need.
I was just curious if you
Yeah.
know of specific needs for this year besides what you've got on this list.
No.
Okay, great.
Trying to keep from the cash carryover.
Sure.
Like you have a huge increase, so.
I see.
Where are we on the next ambulance?
We're just starting to do to spec it out. We've spoken with AVP, which is who we got our last, the big four-wheel drive 550 ambulance. We've started visiting with them, kind of letting them know what it is we want. We'd like to stick with that type of truck. We're not 100% on that though. So the only way you can get a diesel truck is with the 550 now. They're not putting the diesels in the 450s anymore. Why, I can't give you a good reason.
Heavier.
Yeah, probably.
Heavier undercarriage to take the abuse.
So we were hoping to stick with diesel just because they last longer. In case for whatever reason we're not able to get a replacement ambulance. The gas ambulances are cheaper. But as far as how long they're gonna last, I would take a diesel for lasting longer than a gas motor. And especially with all the weight and stuff that it's carrying. I mean, that's just my opinion, but nobody is absolutely, stuck that this is what we have to do.
So what's the lead time? to get one?
You need to replace an engine 3 times for the cost difference between it.
That's very possible.
I don't know. On my trucks, no, you couldn't, but.
You are gonna look at other vendors as well?
Yes, we have AVP and Osage. I'm sorry, I just hadn't gotten to them yet.
That's okay.
Yeah, we've visited with Osage and we'll sit down with them after the 4th.
Or lease
So
it, free lease program.
Yeah.
I was in Bryce County and their staff wasn't vocal about it to us, but we overheard that they have a Sprinter, right, that kind of fills in and they hate that thing. But it is a cost-effective method to fill a gap for transports. It's just something to think about. And it's just about, like I said, it does work for the transport situation.
What are you talking about?
Sprinter van.
Sprinter van
Instead of a full.
instead of a full-on ambulance, but that's kind of where it fits the bill. They said they don't like it because of the wind and stuff like that, and it gets rocking around the height.
For me personally, you can't access the right side of the patient. And if you're running a critical call on those, there's no room to move around.
And like I said, it's not really, it's more what they said, it's fine for transports. So if you had a lot of transports, transferring,
Yeah, transferring. And
then that would be the one that your people take and leave the other one behind for the real needs.
Sure. Yeah. And I worked out of one of those when I was at Life Team. I didn't mind it for transfers. I really didn't. But for 911 calls, things of that nature, I mean, I would be adamantly against that.
I mean, if budget ever got tight, it's an idea. It's, okay, well,
I went past one of them just the other day, I think his wife's team.
I'm sorry, just,
That van type deal, I think they're dead, Wichita, one of them, I passed one of them the other day. Set up to,
yeah, they did say it's unhandy, but it did fit the bill.
sure.
Having, not having to buy a whole nother
Third of the
$350,000 truck, they could get by with this $60,000 Sprinter
Sure.
and run just, non-critical.
It's your basic transfers.
Is the lead time still as bad as our FEMA, as our COVID?
I don't know that it's gonna be that bad, but I would anticipate probably 2 years. Yeah.
But then again,
So I wish I had better
Did we wait that long?
going back to,
I think so.
and the only reason why I bring up that Sprinter is because going back to Mark's point, you could replace something. Well, yeah, we actually could if we went with the Sprinter. Then the ones that are your criticals aren't putting the miles on them, just for transports or transfers, and then you're wearing out a cheaper piece of a machinery on the long haul mileage things than you are.
Not to mention your fuel savings and your maintenance savings.
And then basically what they said is that it's a cheap option for a throwaway unit. So I mean, once you're done with it, but it doesn't impact your budget quite so hard. And you're putting a lot of miles on that and saving the miles on your real pieces of equipment that you want to keep good.
No, I understand where you're coming from, for sure. And then, honestly, with, as far as the Osage goes and the diesel versus gas, like I say, nothing's set in stone. So if the commission wants to go, because gas would be the cheaper front-end option, like, I mean, that's probably a decision that you guys are gonna have to make there. And when we sit down and meet with the reps, if a couple of you guys wanna come in and visit with them as well, I think that'd be appropriate.
That one ambulance we bought right off the lot, wasn't it? In Iowa, or was it a couple of years ago?
Was that the gas ambulance that you're referring to?
I think it was.
That could be, I'm sorry, that's when Kurt was here.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure.
That was
came from Arrow.
that was a used.
Are those still options?
just
We never find one.
It depends on if they have one. I can find out exactly what they sort of
I
have.
mean, we had some pretty good cost savings on that thing.
Yeah.
They were
And
refit.
it was, we could have it right now. It was one of those deals.
We've done a couple of the refit, that's not what you call it, but
Remounts.
yes, that, remounts. So we have done that before, and then we had another one that was just a complete unit, I believe, that we purchased used.
That was one
That-
I,
or-
Yeah, I'm not sure on
yeah,
that.
that was
That's
probably
the
3
most
years ago.
My guess is that's the,
We saved a ton of money.
So, and I don't know what it is for ambulances on fuel economy, diesel versus gas. That's something to.
I think what AVP told me was it was 10 to 12 for gas and 8 to 10 for diesel.
8 to 10 for diesel. That's all you're getting. Wow, that's crazy. I switched from a gas 6.6 and I get 12 to a diesel 6.6 and I get 22.
Wow. What kind of weight are you carrying though? Is it-
Just about 8,000 pounds.
Oh, wow. And honestly, I don't know that I've never actually checked.
And so
This is going from the vendor.
these are things, you got sticker shock for diesel.
Sure.
But if I'm getting twice the fuel economy, diesel doesn't cost me twice as much.
Sure.
And so these are all the hurdles, the mind hurdles that people have to get over.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But if it's not doing that good, then yeah, the gas is without a doubt.
Yeah.
There you go. If you're getting the same or worse.
And I'm fine.
Well, the difference is you're looking at the diesel, you're looking at a 550. Like it's a lot bigger unit, way bigger than what is economical to So with the gas, you can go down to a 450, which
You're still getting 1 ton. 1 ton, ton and a half. Getting a ton and a half.
450 is 1 ton, 550 is 1. But it's,
Then the diesel, you do have more expensive repairs when they do happen, but a lot of times you get 500,000 out of a diesel and only about 200,000 out of a gas, so.
And that was the big thing for us, was how long it would actually last, mileage wise. And I gotta be honest with you, I'm not an expert when it comes to motors, so like just based off visiting with vendors and the research that I've done,
A lot of fuel mileage depends on what gear ratio you got in your rear end and the transmission.
Whether or not you get that 10-speed or you get a 6-speed, changes the whole world changes.
You got my 450, which doesn't have an overdrive, so it's 65 mile an hour, it's turning on top of $2,000. At 70, you're turning about 2,500. Overdrive, it's like 12 or 13 miles a gallon, where otherwise you're gonna get close to 20 if it had the overdrive. Even my half-ton pickup's got a 5.0 that'll just about keep up with the Mustang. We're making right at 17 to 18 miles a gallon.
It's the same engine. Same engine.
So how much you can have that much horsepower, but it's set up with the gear ratio and an overdrive that lets it, every runs less than 1,500 at 70, 75 mile an hour.
Thank you for scheduled for a lunch break.
Yeah, no, I just wanna say thank you for your first time around. This is impressive. It looks like you've put some work into it.
I appreciate that, thank you. And if next year I'll try and communicate a little better to see what it is you guys are wanting to know. So, but any other questions, gentlemen?
Amy's doing good.
Yeah, Amy's outstanding. All right, thank you.
Thank her for us again.
What's that?
Thank her for us again.
Yeah, can do.
Ready to recess?
Consensus to recess?
We need a motion.
We got a chair here.
Yeah,
What are we doing, Vice Chair?
We're done.
Yeah, you don't need a motion for a recess.
Yeah, so you're gonna call the recess, right, Vice Chair?
We will recess now until whatever the time says.
12:15?
12:15.
I made some stuff in the crock pot.
Either get rid of you.
Okay. Loretta Turk, Department of Aging. I don't have much for budget. I'm not looking to purchase anything in the near future. The only thing I would possibly look at would be the vans. So if we ever have to look at a different van, I would definitely want to go through fleet. And I want to make sure that the next van that we do get, and honestly, well, it does need to be a van because I have one gentleman that we take quite often in a wheelchair. So I definitely need the wheelchair ramp. But the one thing that I would definitely want to request is it have a map system in there because we print out directions to take somebody, and then somebody may misplace those paperwork, so I would look at
Navigation
a
system.
navigation system. That would be the only thing.
Everything has it nowadays.
Just about.
Okay, well, I know this doesn't even have a north, south, east, and west on it, so kind of, especially if you're challenged.
It's old.
I'm going, okay, which way do we go? Anyway, so I'm not looking at much in that line. The increase is going to be through the North Central Flint Hills Area of Agency with the insurance. Right now, we're taking care of one employee through North Central Flint Hills, and there it's 13 something a month. But they did hire somebody for June, and I do not know if she's going to be requiring insurance or not, so. But we went ahead and I put 35,000, and that's for 2 people. And then the matching, of course, for the local senior centers, we do pay that as well. So, budget-wise, I'm not looking at too much of a difference other than the insurance was a big increase. Did I get that covered, Christine?
Actually looked like a decrease.
I was just gonna look up your current budget.
Oh, I should have brought that.
That's what 2026 proposed, is that not the current budget?
Yeah, I mean, cause this one was done. Well, and I know we talked about taking that replacement, the vehicle, cause we were putting so much back for a new van. And Tina and I talked, and so we're doing away with that. And so if we go through the fleet management, and you know, we still have the big white van as well. I mean, do we need it? No. We don't need that van. I do use it when I go to Tampa. I do use it when we have board meetings at different locations. So we will take board members, the senior citizens of Marion County, Inc. We'll put people in the van and in the big van just to keep it driven. I don't know if it's.
Still do commodities?
I'm sorry?
We still do commodities every once in a while, like the different locations of commodities?
Not with the van.
That has changed now,
That has
where I don't
changed.
think we can all do it anymore anyhow.
Yeah, and I never use the van with the commodities anyway.
So the 2026 budget for the NCFHAAA and insurance is actually 45,000.
Yeah,
45,000.
and you got 35 now, so that's actually a decrease.
So that actually may need to be corrected. They sent their estimate, so I'll double check that.
Okay. Yeah, because originally it was 65,000. And so when, I had Kathy help me look at this. And so we were taking what they had and multiplying by 12 times 2. And maybe we were not looking at the full year.
Well, there are 2 things in that line.
Yes.
One is your match and the other is the insurance. I wonder if
And
maybe
it's
you just
confusing.
looked at the insurance and
Yeah.
not the other piece.
And I could have, yes. I apologize
So
for that.
we'll figure it out before we're done here.
Okay. Any questions? We try not to spend money. I mean, when we do, when we have our annual meeting, which is coming up in September, and that is gonna be through Hillsborough this year. So we spend a little bit of money there, but I have it budgeted for those expenses. So but I don't need any equipment or anything like that.
So just another, like a follow-up question about the van. When you say you don't need the big van, do you feel like you don't need 2 vans? Or is just that, or you do need 2 vans, but you wouldn't need a giant one?
Exactly. And I was thinking about this yesterday, because we take the, thank you. Yes, she's so good. So yes, this one has administrative funds of $4,216. So there's that fund as well as the matching fund. And it has it on here. So they're predicting for 2027, it's gonna go up to $75,000 with the insurance. So I will pass that on. So, and I apologize. I was thinking yesterday, because I did take a lady to Salina yesterday in our caravan. Well, here's my thought. If we had a small SUV, that we could take an individual to an appointment. And,
2 people.
yes, yeah, and because we definitely need the wheelchair ramp van. Because I do have an individual that we do take quite often. But if the second vehicle could be a small SUV instead of a van, that would, in my opinion, that would save on money and not another van.
Most SUVs are higher than vans.
Well, what I'd seen
Oh.
in Washington recently, you see handicap accessible taxi. And it had the van, 2 seats, like a normal van. It had the seats in the back, 2 seats. And then it had the back door opened up wider. And the ramp went in the back, so the person with the wheelchair, they put them in the back and up into the 3rd row.
Wow.
And that's how they transported them by taxi. It was a special taxi, it was a different taxi than the rest of the taxis, but it was available. And it really wasn't much more than a regular.
SUV.
They got those down in Wichita to transport people.
Yeah. So they've actually removed the third row seat, and they make that just for the wheelchair to go in and lock in.
Yeah.
From the back.
New mid-size USV is still under 30 grand.
Yeah.
One thing to keep in mind on that insurance, the county had made the decision many years ago not to budget out of the Department on Aging Fund that full amount. We usually budget a portion of that amount because they have asked for, because we may or may not use it, and so we don't put it there. We want to put it somewhere where we might have a little more flexibility, and we have never gone over or even met what they have requested in the past.
And I try to use our vans if we're going, like if I have to run to Hillsborough like this morning, then I take our van. But if I'm going to Saline or something like that for like a class, then I'll grab the county vehicle. So we still do that, but local, in Marion County itself, I try to use either our van, the big white van, which I love driving it. It's great. And it's got giddy up and go power. It is pretty awesome. But there's slowly but surely things are starting to fall off. Not literally, but the mirrors don't stay in place anymore. We've had issues with the air conditioning and the heater, but it's still drivable. It is.
That's like the kind of stuff I'm used to.
Well, yeah.
It needs to be on the hill list.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, it probably, yeah.
we just got that carport, so it's snug.
I know it.
It was snug in there. Do you know, is there any restriction, like I know some of the, in the past, we were under a transportation grant in the distant past. And how was that van purchased? Are there restrictions on it if we need to sell it?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I don't believe so. I can pull that information out though.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Are you done with taxes?
I'm done with taxes. And that's a big complaint because the state, there's a lot of people that's coming to me concerned because they have not received their state taxes back, nor homestead. So, but it's on the website, tax site, saying that due to shortage of staff and budget cuts, you'll get your money when we get done with it, when they're done processing things, so.
We put 60,000 on a payment plan, and it was just, we'll file it and we'll send you the paperwork later.
Yeah. Well, a lot of them concerned because they're on, they go through the treasurer's office, they pay so much escrow. And they're getting bills because they're, you know, the people are getting their bills and going, I haven't got my refund back yet, or my homestead back because they use that money to pay their taxes. I'm going, I can't help you with that. So you just have to talk to Treasurer's office and explain, so. Thank you.
I'm done.
Thanks for not spending much money.
I'm sure doing my best.
I know it.
Blowing the rain to keep up.
Yeah, try to get everything ready for next week. Okay, you just wanna do the bait shop first? You wanna do the lake first?
Whichever one you wanna do.
The bait shop, that's fine. I really don't have many changes for the bait shop for 2027 compared to 2026. Business has been good. Pretty much picked up quite a bit this year with the bait shop out at the reservoir being down, but I don't see any major changes for 2027. Everything's been going pretty smoothly. Kind of keep everything the same is what I was thinking here for next year. Everything seems to be working well. I don't think we're gonna need to replace anything as far as like prisons or anything like that goes. So I on the contractual, I bumped it up, or on the commodities, I bumped it up just a little bit. Just because the price of bait, 2025, our main dealer over in McPherson went out of business. There's a new guy that we're going with. The price has gone up a little bit on like our main bait fish and worms and stuff, but besides that, it's not a big increase by any means. But
that should be offset by your.
and it should, yeah, it really should be. Yeah, and yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Looking at the numbers this year, I don't think that's gonna be an issue. We're up quite a bit so far on sales this year compared to where we were at last year. And I do think a lot of that jump has been from the situation out there at the reservoir with there not being a bait shop out there this year, so.
Yeah, it looks like on average, it's starting to get to the trend about 7,000 to 8,000.
Yeah.
Which is your 30% margin, so you're looking like it's, but you still need to have a number in there in case you do, somebody comes in and buys out the whole store, you gotta have budget authority to buy and replenish your stock.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, moving on to the park. I guess I'll just start with this, and I've been talking to Tina about it for a while now. We're having major issues right now with the Lake Hall facility. It's flooding bad every time it rains. We have water coming in through the entire west wall from the floor. It's not coming in through the roof, it's coming in right where the floor and the wall align. There's the two doors on the west side, it's coming underneath the doors, but it's also coming along, that entire west side from the north edge to the south edge in. We also have a lot of water coming in on the north side of the building, same way coming in twice this year already. The entire Lake Hall floor has been under half an inch of water. I've talked to EBH, they haven't come out, they haven't been able to make it out yet to look at it. I've talked to a couple of other people just to get ideas, but where we're at with this now is that there's some sheetrock in there that's gonna have to be replaced, baseboards that are gonna have to be replaced, but I don't wanna
Want to do it till you get the problem fixed.
Exactly, yeah.
Talk to foundation people,
have
the people who do foundation,
not like a foundation specialty.
put drain tile in maybe.
Well, and that's what we're looking at on the outside of the building. The big problem, I think, because I really don't know what started it. We always would have a little bit of runoff come through the doors, especially if we had a lot of rain, but whenever it hailed back in April was the first time that we've always had a little bit of issues on the north side of the building, but the west side, unless we had like 3 to 5 inches, we really weren't getting a whole lot of water except underneath the 2 doors there. We had that hailstorm, and I don't know what changed. We had a lot of water coming from there. I thought that was because of the hail, but since then, ever since we had half an inch of rain in it. That entire west wall, it was seeping in. The big problem, I think, is that campground that's to the west side of the building, there's about a 2-foot slope from that campground down to the back of that lake hole.
I ask you, did the campground actually cause the issue?
Well, and that's
Possibly.
possible. Yeah, I definitely think it has something to do with it.
Dig a 2-foot wide trench and fill with gravel.
Yeah.
So I will tell you what we did. We had some gravel stockpiled. We put some gutter extensions on the back of it at this point to try to push some of that water off and put a little bit of gravel there. I don't want to say it helped. Saturday night there was a wedding in there just this past weekend, and that next Sunday morning, there was a significant amount of water back on the floor in that building Sunday morning.
So you have gutter, downspouts on the west side.
We do. We have 4 of them.
So the drain tile would be the way to
Put up
mitigate it. And then,
some kind of French drain, something in there.
well, you put the drain tile and then you add gravel to the top, and that gives you that French drain. So any water coming down at you falls down through the gravel and into the drain tile. And then your downspouts also go into that same drain tile. Ship it out and around.
You might have to drain it back toward the lake then.
That's what I think we would have to do, is come
Have to cut
around
the road.
the building and have it come out on the front of the building there. We have not had any issues on the east side, the front side of the building with water coming in. And we haven't had any issues on the far south side of the building with any water coming in. It seems like all of it's on that entire west wall and the north wall.
They would have less issue if we take it south, even past the house to the lower, where that drops.
Like just go straight
Go
south
south, rather than go east.
into the front.
That would be the least disturbance of that.
And you'd have less
Any kind of,
asphalt that you could test.
well, it'd be a pain back there if we dump it out there, it's gonna affect anything, I don't think. So
It's
So
probably,
that'd be my only suggestion, if we do drain something, let's take it straight south of that area. Or have them look at, that'd be the simplest.
Okay.
I would agree, I wouldn't wanna repair anything inside the building.
If we take it east, then wherever it's dumping out there, unless we're going clear to the lake, and there's no need for that.
So that's the reason that Isaac was getting hold of EBH, since they do drainage and that kind of work, just to come take a look at it, so.
And they sent somebody out, Bryce, came out and looked at it for a bit. He said he was gonna talk to Darren. Darren actually got a hold of me this morning, and I think he's gonna try to come out and look at it with me on Friday, just to try to see exactly what they think is going on. But once that is done, there is gonna be some baseboard and a little bit of sheetrock work that's gonna have to be done inside of the building that's starting to show.
Is there other, besides coming up from on the north side, is that all, everything that's happening on the north and that northeast corner, is that all from the same kind of thing, or do you think there might be another issue?
I don't, and that's, I don't know. And that was kind of the other thing, cause like on that north side, the water, there's a wall that comes out in the kitchen, and the water is, it's not coming in through the direct north wall. The wall that comes in through the kitchen, that's where it's seeping out. So the conversation was, is that coming from the ground, or is it coming from the ceiling, seeping down the wall and then coming out? But we had a roofing company out there shortly after the hailstorm, and I was talking to them about it. They got up on the roof. They said that they can't see anything. I talked to Cody Nelson about it, and like he said that,
You got acoustical tile, right?
yeah.
So I mean, it should tell on
You
its
would see it, yeah, right, and that's it, and so, and like, that's what, and he kinda said the same comment, is it's unless you wanna tear out sheetrock to really look and see, he said, you're really not gonna know. I've talked to Tina about it too. I think if we could figure out the drainage as of right now, I don't have really any bookings like December all the way through, I think, February. So kind of the thought is if we could fix that, then maybe sometime during that period, we could try to get in there and make some of the,
Do the inside once we know it's.
without having to cancel a bunch of pre-existing bookings for that building. But, I did just wanna
If we
kind of,
do set a date, just take at least a couple of weeks around there and not take a booking,
yeah.
if we get that far.
We do have election training in there.
Yes, we got you, cause I think I have you, and then I think I have a wedding the weekend right after you guys, and then I think that
And
was.
then after that,
Yeah.
clamping it down.
We were just looking at the calendar, yeah, so you guys have that, and then there's a wedding, and I think that's the last of it, so.
Right around construction.
You didn't put any numbers in the budget to reflect any of that work.
I just didn't have
I was
any
just
idea.
asking.
No, there's nothing in there, and that's what I was gonna say, there's nothing on this just because I really had no idea.
You got 25,000, you used about $2,000
Yeah.
to date on capital outlay, and you budget another 30,000 following year, I mean, you should be able to cover some drain tile and some gravel
Okay, well, and that was
out of that 25.
I was really trying to get a number before today, but I just hadn't, and so I didn't wanna put something in there as a wild guess, because I really did not know, what something like that is gonna run.
Do you have electricity on the west side of the building?
Outside,
Yeah.
I do not. We have no, we
I
don't.
mean, the campground doesn't come up against the building.
The pedestals don't make it all the way to the building.
No, the pedestals are probably a solid, I'm gonna say 30 yards where the pedestals are to the building.
There's plenty of room to work then.
Yeah. There's like a couple of fire pits and stuff that are closer than the pedestals, and even those are still probably 20 yards from the building. I mean, you could get equipment back there.
More than anything, I think you're probably just looking at a trencher and then shoving drain tile in and then bringing up spouts to your downspouts.
Okay.
So it goes down in there too, and then less to pull out on that lawn.
Okay.
They're higher than the campground.
That would take care of your water coming in problem. If you have traffic, then that French drain doesn't work so well, because the dirt and stuff off the tires start filling it in, and then the water being able to go down through the rocks doesn't work anymore. It starts to sediment in like a pond. But if it's not driven on, water just seems to dump in there.
Okay. The next thing that I had here, and I don't know, we had a conversation at one point about if the county wanted to add any more public docks. We had that conversation when we had the conversation about privatizing. I didn't put a number in this for this either. This was the other thing I kind of just wanted to talk to you guys about because I wasn't sure. There was a conversation about at one point the county adding more public docks that the county owned out there at the park. I didn't know, since we decided to keep all the docks public, if that was something we just wanted to X for the time being. We just had that conversation about possibly doing that.
You have a spot?
We have, we have spots that we could do it, if we wanted to.
I think that whole issue is kind of went away.
Taken care of, yeah, and that, I mean, that was it, I knew that we had discussed it, and then, you know, they stayed public. Like I said, I didn't put numbers in there, cause that was kinda how I took it, is since they stayed public, we really didn't need to add any more county-owned docks to keep them open to the public,
I
but.
think I think the thing is diminished to the point I wouldn't worry about it.
Perfect.
Personally, is my thought.
Save $30,000.
I just,
Well, there might be
unless there
something we need worse than that in time.
unless there was a dock that's currently out there that would no longer be a privately owned, privately furnished, funded, then, you know, if that was the case, taking over that dock.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go making a new spot.
Perfect. Okay, after that, personnel services, I'm at 145, that's based off the numbers that I got from, Cherry here. I don't see any major changes on employment or employees, anything like that. Contractual services, bump that up, we had a big jump in our, sewer rates. Looking at all the utilities so far from 2025 to 2026, our electrical's up a hair overall. Everything else seems to be pretty steady, compared to where we were last year. Hopefully we stay on that course and it'll be okay. Sewer's gonna be our big one. Like I said, electrical, looking at it now, we're a little higher than we were, but, not much. So I bumped that up mainly for the sewer and, other utilities in case we're. Commodities, I think we're good where we're at, for 2026, moving forward to 2027. Events, I left the same. I am wanting to upgrade one more campground. It's the last campground that we have from 30 amp to 50 amp. If we can do that one last campground, there's 6 spots. It's a small campground just across from the beach. I've talked to a couple electricians about it. It sounds like the service to do that is there. It's just be popping out the pedestal and putting back in with a 50 amp pedestal.
Wiring is heavy enough.
Yes, yeah.
Carry 50 amp.
Yes, they said that we would not have to adjust the service, the transformer, everything there is good. It would just be replacing those pedestals. We have.
In a bigger breaker, basically.
Yeah.
Are they the stand-up pedestals?
Yes,
Buried underground?
they are. And actually on that campground,
Could you keep the pedestal and slap
new face,
Separate box.
a Midwest box on the back that has the 50 amp option?
very possibly.
Because, I mean, it's a cheaper alternative than taking the whole, because the pedestals can run about $800.
Yeah.
Midwest box might be around 300.
Okay.
And you're just mounting it to the back and then nippling through and getting wires and tapping in, and then it'll have its own breaker in that Midwest box and a 50 amp.
Okay. I can definitely check on that. I was gonna say the way I got an estimate for about 17.5. That was based off the other campground that we have done, just going back in with those existing pedestals that we have in that campground. But
Yeah, 6 locations, you might be able to drop that.
significantly. Okay.
I ain't trying to cut anybody's throat. I don't know who bid it, so.
Well, no. and yeah, I was just looking for a number. I mean,
If they did, well, I'm sorry.
yeah.
We're in the county hat today.
I was mainly concerned to see if we were gonna if we did do that, if we would have to upgrade the whole service, and it sounds like that's not an issue, so that was kind of my big.
Wiring's heavy enough, that's gonna be the biggest issue.
Yeah.
If you had to replace it, then you'd have to dig up and start from scratch.
It would be a huge expense.
Yeah. If what you're saying makes a lot of sense. If the wiring's heavy enough for any 50 amp service.
And then you've already got your 20 and 30 there. And then
I mean, if somebody wants plugs
There's a lot of campers that are still 30 amp, so I mean, you can't just get rid of it.
No, and that's the thing, yeah. We've had problems with, like, especially there now is we get a lot more 50s, and when all of them, yeah.
Big tail, and then it gets, things get funny.
Yeah, they try to run both ACs and
Yeah, they don't work.
Yeah,
One
and
AC.
yeah, and so we've replaced a bunch of breakers and receptacles in those, and so it would just be nice to get that done. And then if we got that done, every single electrical box out there for camping would have that 50 amp service. So. The only other big need that we're gonna have to do for 2027 is I have multiple large trees out there that don't look like they're gonna make it. And the ones that I'm talking about are ones that us as a park are not gonna be able to take care of just because of locations close to power lines or roadways or structure. And we're probably looking at around $15,000 to $20,000 worth of tree work. That's in the mobile home area, campgrounds, and then along Lakeshore Drive by the power lines there. I think I have 2 big pine trees that are gonna have to go, a big sycamore that's gonna have to go, and then we have about 3 big cottonwoods that are gonna have to go. I would like to try to get those taken out
Will
before.
the electric company take care of the ones around the power lines, or?
No, they'll just shave the tops.
Yeah, I tried to talk to them about that on 2 of them.
They'll just cut the tops if it gets in their way.
Or they said that they could maybe get to it at some point, but they couldn't tell me when. And I guess kind of where I was at on it, I'd just like to get them all taken care of before they fall and we have bigger issues, I guess. But they all have a little green on them, but the bark's starting to fall off, and you can tell that,
Sickly.
yeah, they're not doing great. We try to always do as much of that stuff as we can ourselves, but in the instances of these ones that I'm talking about is something that I don't think we would want to mess with, but.
On your site upgrades, are there any more water line upgrades that need to be done? Are you all done with that?
So all of our water is done, we haven't ever brought it up. That one, I think that was right before I had started. Steve had looked at running water to the newest campground on the east side, and I think from what I understood, they ran into a bunch of rock on that project. That campground still does not have water, which honestly, we have not got like a bunch of negative feedback about, because people can fill tanks and go down there, and with our 2-week max state policy, it works out to where they can fill their tanks and run off of that for 2 weeks. If that was something we ever wanted to do, I mean, we could look into it, but I have not, and I really don't think there's a super big
Need for
it, yeah.
Okay. I know that in the past commissions had been planning those water line upgrades, and so I wasn't sure if there were any that were unfinished that still needed to be taken care of.
I think it is, we're all good there. That's the only thing that I could think of water-wise that if we ever wanted to do, we could, but.
What would it take just to get a hydrant in that area, just a single hydrant?
So the closest, I wish I had a map and I could show you.
They bore under the road or something?
Yeah, cause I was gonna say the closest water line to that campground would be the residential area. I'm gonna say it's probably 300 yards. And from what I understood, Steve got all the numbers to do that at that time, and then they realized how much rock was in between those 2 areas, and the price was significantly higher than they initially estimated.
Do we have a water line outside at Lakeshore Drive on residential?
That's what he said.
But if we bored across the road
Yeah, that would be,
100 feet and put a hydrant,
so,
would that be cost effective to get it to somewhere where they could draw water if they needed to?
so I guess the problem, not necessarily a problem, but the situation there is that even if you went just under the road, across the road, that campground is still probably another 250 yards in, cause it's on like a big peninsula from there. I mean, it would supply water there, I guess, if they just wanted to run back and fill a tank instead of having to go back over to our dump
That's what I'm
station.
saying, is just have a hydrant there for whatever needs, clean their fish or something,
Yeah,
and not have to bother anybody else.
that would be the closest water source.
That
would
would
be-
cost, I mean, it would have cost, but something to get water across the road or right there along the driveway or whatever.
That would create a lot of, I think you'd have a lot of issues with that. A hydrant out in the middle of nowhere, people come, turn it on, leave it on, and,
Yeah.
it's, then you gotta have another water meter,
And he's camping close by.
another cost, and, I mean, if it's not an issue right now, I'd just leave it alone and let them wash their fish in the lake if they
Yeah.
wanna wash their fish off.
It's back in the water.
Start boring, costs a lot of money.
I don't know. I got one of them filtration, throw in the water system, pump systems that'll bring you up, and then you can kick it over to your propane, get to hot water showers out of it. I mean, if somebody's really into having some water, I mean, there's ways around it.
Yeah, when we've had guys even like bring out like water wagons on the back of their trucks or whatever the case is, if they plan on like for this weekend, that campground's already completely full for 4th of July weekend. Like there's a guy out there that has one and he'll use that to kind of run into his tanks. And so, I mean, they figured it out, and it like I said, it really hasn't been a problem not having water out there. But
You can even find on your primitive camping, you're gonna start finding more and more campers that are solar powered with self-contained water pumps off the water source of the lake. And they're not gonna need anything. No, it's just, things are changing and we go build a whole bunch of infrastructure and then all of a sudden it's not needed anymore.
yeah. Well, and that, I don't know if it's true or not. Somebody told me now they're making 75 amp or
Oh, yeah.
70, yeah. And so it's like, I guess we'll deal with that if that comes. But 3 ACs or 4 ACs,
Those are for snowbirds.
yeah.
They belong down south.
The 50 amp upgrade that we did behind the Lake Hall facility, it's been a night and day difference. Just how much we haven't had any issues. We haven't had to replace anything. We haven't had any power outages like we used to deal with. It's been a tremendous improvement, and we've gotten a lot of compliments on that. So it's been nice. And if we, like I said, we can get this last little campground done, I think we can kind of be done with that, and it will be nice.
Low power surge is what damages more stuff than an overreach.
And that's what they're doing, plugging into the 30s. And
Damage.
drawing it down, ampering it out, dropping the voltage, raising the amperage, burning stuff up.
Causes friction.
Did you guys have any questions for me?
Already told some of them you got the big trailer in without incident.
Yes. Yeah. Yesterday.
And the old one gone down the road.
That is all finished. Yeah, they came and did that yesterday.
And the place up quite a bit.
Yes. It looks nice. We had to cut some trees on the south side of it. They were all small so he could get back. We got all that done, and yeah, it looks a million times better. The neighbors are happy about it.
We're doing something right. Okay.
Yeah.
That's important.
Yeah.
Thanks, Isaac.
Yeah.
Now we're running a little early.
Recess.
Where's Kevin at? Surely he's close. He's already got a budget for what we wanted, the parking.
Well, we can do your commission budget.
Yeah.
You wanna do that now? What's that?
All the way to the bottom.
Almost. Yeah, you're right before me. That way you can talk about if you want any changes. What's in your packet is basically, no equipment needs, anticipated. At some point, we need to probably be thinking about putting your audiovisual equipment in here on some sort of a replacement schedule, or at least be thinking about how to pay for those as they go out. Your laptops, the last time we purchased all 5 at one time, it'd be nice if we could get to a 2-3 rotation at some point, and correlating with the election terms. And that would be a replacement every 4 years. On this presentation, I kept the wages the same. The way it's presented in here, I did reduce your commodities and capital outlay slightly. And basically just because there's no current needs, and you haven't traditionally been spending the small amount that's been budgeted for commodities, so. So this is just me guessing what you all want, so.
Thanks for your input.
Yeah, the capital outlay, is that allowed to be cash carryover to help handle what you said about the audiovisual? I mean, at that rate, we'd be looking at
Right, it would take a
15
long.
years.
Right. But if you
Just to
had a
cover what
television or
bases.
something go out, yeah, and so right now, like general fund accounts, if we put a amount in there that we wanna try to save towards, then what we would do is each year, we would increase that budget, like we do it for other general fund. It's not like a separate fund where you can see that accumulating. But yes, we can do that. And we can do a different amount if you want to. These are just,
I'm just thinking about the capital outlay, if it's not getting spent, whatever doesn't get spent gets rolled over, cash carried over into the general fund that
yes,
holds for replacements.
yes, we can do that. Ultimately, yes, I'll show you when you get it on the budget form. It's just, it'll be easier that way. Any other questions, comments, or changes that you all would like?
The contractual services, what comes out of,
So that is training, hotel, your dues for County Commissioners Association and KAC, and then I think KAC dues, commissioners might come out of there. But those are the things that typically come out of that.
members of NACO?
Yes.
How much is that?
I'll have to look it up. I know do you know off the top of your head, Ashley? Okay, I can look it up right now, I think. We have a little bit of time.
$300 a year.
No, it's more,
It was
it's,
$495 a few years ago.
it's more than that, yeah. Let's see.
You're thinking, Joe.
I know it wasn't over 1,000.
What we spend on our newspaper that we
I don't think so. Yeah, there we go.
still got the trash can.
It was down. Okay, it's $450 for 2026, 25, 20, for last quite a few years. It hasn't changed.
That's a waste. It's not a big deal, it's still a waste.
What do we get out of it?
That newspaper, you know, that newspaper that goes.
That's what I just said something to Joan about, the news.
I mean, it could
We
be.
get rid of the newspaper.
450, we could apply somewhere else.
I can bring back information on what else the NACO membership is supposed to offer as far as benefit. It could just be that we're not utilizing the benefits that it
I don't
offers.
think we do.
Get one free registration at convention.
They send enough emails out every week.
Sorry, what did
We
you
got
say?
You know, look at.
a registration at the convention. Never goes though.
Well, their leadership style has been an East-West Coast style leadership over the years, which doesn't side with us.
Those flatlanders.
So are you interested in more information about,
What are we not utilizing? I would like to know.
okay. Okay, I'll get that for you.
I've got a speaking thing on that. Yeah. But I was gonna go to New Orleans. But I told them I would talk. Weekend, so I'm not going.
So you all had mentioned, or Jonah, you had at least mentioned KNRC, that would potentially could come out of this, or courthouse general, if you decide that you wanted to go that.
I would like to, but I just know that everything else is there's a lot of extra needs and costs are going up, and to sign up for anything else right now is probably not the wisest move. I think it's a valid thing to be a part of, but it just I can't see having any more expense if we can.
Membership's a lot.
Yeah.
Membership was like
$5,000.
I was gonna say it's a lot more. I was gonna say we could replace it with the 450. It ain't gonna work.
No, but it's more I mean, yeah, it's the same level, I guess. And NACO would be on the national level and
They lobby nationally or just statewide?
national. It's more national on federal overreach and of grounds and water rights and lots of things that.
I don't see that as big an issue as it was a few years ago.
Yeah.
Maybe it still is.
I don't know. But it only takes one more transmission line to try to come through, and all of a sudden they're worth a lot of money. So.
And I know Harvey County has utilized them, and they provide a lot of
Resources,
a
all
lot of
kinds.
resources for nothing when you're a member.
Mhm.
But I agree with you. I think it's something we need to look at, but
If we got a year that it's like a revenue neutral year, then maybe that's the time we think hard about it.
Sharon is here. Ready for her?
Any changes then, or you good with?
I think it's coming under, so I'll just leave it be. Not much, but so.
Okay.
Not gonna get that everywhere. So every nickel and dime's gonna help at the end of the day.
Running early today.
Yeah.
Nice.
Went ahead and took care of the commission.
There you go.
I did.
Good deal.
We'll jump in there. If they ahead, we'll jump in with Tina.
Yeah. All right. So for my 27 budget planning here on this worksheet, we don't anticipate any major purchases other than our typical computer laptop rotation. We try to replace those as necessary. That's accounted for in our capital outlay line item. Anticipated personnel changes for the 2026 or 27 year. Our field tech resigned in April, and that position has just been filled as of this week, and also a part-time field technician to assist with workload and help get caught up on backlogged items. Both of those positions are budgeted for already. Any unique situations in the office that would affect the remainder of the 2026 budget or 27 budget. There have been more updates. It's anticipated that the comp plan will be updated in either late 2026 or probably likely during 2027. So with that come potentially special meetings, extraordinarily expensive publication fees, office supplies, copier expenses, postage for notices, planning commission mileage, reimbursements, and consultation fees. Those create a little bit of a higher operating cost there. Other matters of importance to the preparation of the budget. The building maintenance still should be considered. I think just as, whether our building needs to have a line item for that or how that's gonna be handled for like our bigger ticket items, like if the HVAC system goes out or depending on how insurance turns out, we may end up with a new roof anyways this year. I'm not sure yet. Other shifted expenses could be allocated to contract a specialized land use matters attorney for the planning and zoning department. We seem to use an attorney quite a bit for zoning matters, and I think that would be beneficial and could help expedite some of those issues that have been ongoing. And then any requests for the 2027 budget, we still need a storm shelter out there. We'd like to be able to have that located in a position that the EMS station could also use it. Gravel for that north parking area that's just on the north side of our building, basically all of those lots. At least part of that needs to be rocked for additional parking. And then a shed or a lean-to or something to protect department vehicles would be a good investment. The next page shows the budget being proposed for each line item: personnel services, contractual, commodities, capital outlay. We did put the vehicle replacement funds into the fleet management now that we've all gone to that, so all those funds were transferred over to that. Down there at the bottom, budget notes. Touched on the fleet management, the building maintenance fees, the capital outlay, which includes our computer equipment rotation. Really
believe I have already addressed all of those items in the previous page. And then just some supportive documents. We have actual expenses from the 2025 year, what was budgeted for 26, and then the proposed 27, and then you can see the change in what is being requested. And
I
then,
didn't get that last sheet in, that very last one you have there that shows your year-to-date breakdown.
oh, okay.
You sent it to me, but somehow I missed putting it in the packet, so they don't have that.
Yeah, I can email this back out or send it around. This is basically our 2026 estimated expenses. We usually go January through May when we start looking at our budgets, all of the expenses that we've had up to that point in the year, and then estimate those out to the end of the year to determine each line item and what those expenses are projected to be by the end of 2026.
If you hand that to me, I can make we can make a copy of it. Does that, do y'all want this?
You talked to this one?
No, there's another page that she had that I missed getting to you.
Send it out later.
Okay,
Scan it
send it
in,
later.
scan it, email it.
Okay.
Okay.
You can email it if you've already got it on electronic form. Save somebody a scan.
And basically what this shows is our estimated expenses for 2026 are very close to what our 2026 budget is, so that just kind of, it helps
Validates the
substantiate.
2026 numbers, which helps validate the 2027.
Right, that's exactly it, yep. So do you have
Sorry, I missed that.
so the 2026 estimated expenses are lining up with fairly closely with that 2026 budgeted amount, and that just helps validate those numbers on the budget.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I missed sending that page out.
Oh, okay.
I didn't miss what you said, but thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Your biggest jump is basically what you said on legal publications, based on the comprehensive plan is gonna
Plan.
do that.
Right. Yeah, we're legally obligated to publish that in the official county newspaper. There are certain instances where you can publish by reference, which helps reduce that cost. I'm not sure.
How much it applies to certain things?
Yeah, I need to check into that, but I know on our typical zoning regulations, we try to put the whole thing in there so that it's transparent. The comprehensive plan, in the past, we may have done that by reference actually, because it's a rather large document.
Are we required by law to publish the whole word for word document?
That's what she's saying. She's saying that she could publish the reference to it.
Well, I'm just wondering, I mean, county council needs to figure some of this out, because as a percent of increase, legal publications is the biggest jump we have on everything.
Yeah.
And something's gotta be done about that.
And we have to publish the notice for the public hearing, we have to publish the resolution once that final determination has been made. I mean, there are so many things that we legally have to publish.
Get that to a reference, go to the website and look at it.
We need to, I don't know, maybe in the next couple of weeks, we can put that on commission agenda to talk to Brad about reviewing that. I don't see why, that there's anything we can't publish with a reference to the full document being available online. But we need Brad to look into that, because that would, like you said, that would save us.
We've been fighting that forever, you know, the Kansas
So
Newspaper Association won't let us do anything, but the cities are doing it.
cities
Yeah,
have
he's following
different,
different charters.
they have different home rule than we do, and so the last legal advice that we had, I don't know if they still are talking about that at clerks conferences when you go, was that, we don't have the ability like a city does. But again, getting an attorney to advise on that is a good idea.
Cities, what I've always been told, cities got their home rule right when the Constitution of the state was formed. Counties got their home rule right when the legislators created the counties. So the county home rule could disappear, but the city home rule could never disappear without dissolving the state.
Why don't we just buy the paper out?
Might be worth a pretty penny right now.
Be a conflict.
I don't know. Might wanna publish more than we need to. If we owned it, it wouldn't cost as much.
We could sue ourselves.
Well, then it couldn't be a paid subscription.
Right.
Okay, I mean, it's pretty straightforward, it's pretty, honestly, it's pretty on,
Of last year.
yeah, our numbers have been pretty consistent, I mean, in my tenure here.
Got faith in your new employees?
I mean, yes, still pretty,
Still early to say.
still early to say, but yes,
Fortunate that we got somebody to
yeah, definitely.
start with.
I do feel good about having some more competent bodies in there.
Good. It's been a worry of yours, I think, for a while.
Yeah, it's
Getting somebody.
been a lot going on, it's been very busy.
Girl Scouts happy.
Anything else?
That's it.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Good job, thank you.
Thank you.
You wanna go ahead and do administrator budget?
Okay with that?
Yep.
Okay. So just as far as equipment rotation, we do have one computer that is due for replacement and one inkjet printer due for replacement. So those will be the items that are listed in the capital outlay amount. Just a point of interest that our copier is a hand-me-down that we got from Road and Bridge, and it was purchased in 2017. We lovingly call it Rufus, and it's working okay right now, so I'm not planning to replace it, but it may, it is on the radar, and I need to be thinking about future on that. On the anticipated personnel changes, I would like to consider potentially an entry-level, part-time, like a 10-hour-a-week person to help with scheduling, filing, general communication, data entry, reporting, social media, those kind of things. I find myself stuck on a lot of lower-level tasks for a good portion of the time, and I don't believe that that is what the commission intends for me to be working on. I'm doing the best I can to handle all that, but just something to think about. I would not purchase any new equipment for them or new furniture or anything. One thing, and a unique situation in the office would affect the remainder of the budget or next year. We are due for a market study on wages and for evaluation of the pay plan. So the last major study that we did was in 2018. We had a small update in 2021. And that's something that every so often needs to be taken care of. Just basic, just inquiries. Cherry has checked with probably 5 or 6 different firms, and the range is between $15,000 and $30,000, depending on the firm and the scope of what we've asked for. And that would be a general expense, so that would potentially be budgeted out of the courthouse general, not necessarily out of the admin budget. I am looking at potentially sending Cherry for the Human Resources Management certification. The cost of that coursework and exam is $1,450. So that is something that I would like to do. Just overall, so point number 4, matters of importance to the preparation of the budget, and basically just being important to plan for longer term future needs across all departments and facilities. And that's something that I keep bringing up a lot. And one thing that we're going to be talking about during the facilities discussion is if you want to, like as we talked last year at budget time, potentially shift some of those major building type expenses out of individual department budgets into a more centralized kind of facilities budget.
Bucket list.
Right. So with all of those things, when you look at my actual budget document, my budget sheet, the salaries that I have listed there, it does include roughly $7,500 would be the cost of that, potentially that part-time 10-hour-a-week person. I did increase contractual slightly for training, and that would help to allow for that SHRM training for Cherry. Marketing, that line is no longer used. That was established when you were doing the search for an administrator, so that is not a line that we currently use. I did reduce the commodities to help offset other areas. And then the capital outlay would be for the computer and printer replacements, which are due in rotation. We try to keep our purchases and pretty low. Our contractual consists of, we have 2 cell phones. We have some dues, training, and that's pretty much it. Yeah.
The other day, there was a grant put out for KAC to get the word out on micro intern program. Molly actually had somebody as an intern, and it was actually where that intern was paid by a grant. So the drawback that the counties are finding is that intern typically gets paid more than normal county employees, and so then it causes some grief. But it's not coming from the county budget. It's coming from the grant. The grant is paying them to be your intern, so you have to look at it as free help in a way. I didn't know if that would help you in your office to knock out some of these.
Yeah, possibly.
But I would reach out to Molly and inquire about that micro intern. And other departments would benefit from it too. I mean, I'm not just saying. They said that the hurdle is, you know, there's hurt feelings, but just getting the psychology to actually understand that it's not coming out of the budget. You're getting free help. You have to look at it that way. So
And that's through KAC.
Do you have to qualify people for that, or it can be a high school kid?
I think it's some people that are in the program, so you'd have to get somebody from the program. But I mean, anything on website setups, you know, where it's just it's a task, and once it's completed, then it's upkeep.
Mm-hmm.
These are hurdle makers, is what they are.
I will tell you, I'm like scheduled down to the minute on just about everything and just trying to use every tool that I possibly can.
Yeah, I just heard about it yesterday, so.
That's cool. I haven't heard about it, so. Do y'all have any questions about anything? Okay.
Health Department.
Our request really didn't change. We didn't have any new items or equipment that beyond some computer replacement things that Lloyd has identified. We have multiple computers that were desktop computers that were purchased in 2018 that are about on their last leg of life. And I know he was getting in my computer, or was going to this morning, but I haven't heard anything back on it. But there weren't any new things. Still this year, we don't know what we will receive for sure for WIC for our budget, which has been in turmoil for probably the last year and a half. They have reallocated us some money in the last year we weren't initially supposed to get for WIC, and I foresee that happening in the following year, but we just don't. We don't know. So I think I put that on unique situations. This year they had changed our budget amount multiple times in one fiscal year without really any advance notice. But thankfully they have allocated more back into it. Do you guys have any questions regarding the budget lines? For our service fees, that's just an anticipated number. We try and kind of anticipate what we think we will get in a year. During the years of COVID, when we had a lot of administration fees, because we had a lot more people coming through our clinic, those numbers were higher, like in 2024. I think some of them have rolled off the years.
I think there have been some changes too on how you've been accounting service fees versus other things. Like we've gotten more detailed on receipting.
Yes.
You're saying that numbers are broke down a little further with that statement?
Yeah, over the years it keeps expanding, doesn't it, Ashley?
You may notice, so like there's different grants. Some of the grants have rolled off because they were grants that we received, whether federal or state, during the COVID years. And so like some of them that you're not seeing that they have just a blank number, it's because they're no longer a grant that's offered. State formula is what we receive from the state of Kansas that they put in their legislature. And so that's a determined amount based on our population. And our CDRR grant, which is that chronic disease risk reduction grant that we have, the health coalition, they pay for one of my employees half of their salary to perform that work. And then her other half of her time is spent on Safe Kids, so injury prevention work.
How many employees do you have funded by grants right now?
Every single employee that we have at least receives a partial part of their salary for grant. Dan Schaefer, who works for Marcy as well, he works 32 hours a month for health department, and he is 100% funded via grant. Our WIC employees, their WIC time at this juncture, as long as the state and the federal government doesn't continue to make changes, their WIC time is 100% funded via the grant, the WIC grant. Like Charla Dirksen, who does WIC, she also does hearing and vision screening in the fall, so health department pays that time because we get contract money from the schools to perform those services.
It's not a grant, but it's a.
We do have a lot of grant.
It's a no, so that part's not a grant, it's a
No, it's a
paid
contract.
service.
Yes,
Through the school.
through the special ed co-op for all
So
of
it breaks even or better.
Yeah, she is, so I would say she is 100% paid out of,
Alternate funds.
yes.
A good way to put it.
I guess my concern is when these grants start drying up and where are we gonna be?
And all the grants that we have currently are not ones that, they have been very long-standing grants, like for decades long. The ones that we still have, like state formula, has been around for a very long time, and that's through the state of Kansas. CDRR has been around for a very long time. The only one on there that is slated to drop off would be the workforce development grant. And
How many of these are federal, is there any of these that are federal grants?
how some of the money trickles, like the FEP grant, or Public Health Emergency Preparedness is the acronym, or FEP is the acronym for that, is a grant that comes through the CDC and then goes to the state, and then the state divvies up the money to the local departments. Federal grant, WIC is fully federal grant that we operate on a federal fiscal year for it. And CDRR is another one that comes from the federal government, goes to the state, and then the state awards. And that is a competitive application. So Marion County applied. They didn't award all the applications, but we've gotten it for the last 4 years. But it is a long-standing grant that we apply for. And
I'm just concerned, like, that this federal, with all of the federal fraud that's being investigated through these grant programs, that a lot of those could sure be put in limbo.
yeah, and I think that all of our stuff is very, very well documented, so and it's
I mean,
in
I'm
place
just-
for an audit. You know,
I mean, nationwide
But yes.
investigations.
Yeah. There has been some restructuring federally.
I think the main thing there is don't take the money and have an empty building. That'll get you caught.
I'd rather have a Learning Center.
All right.
So I have a quick question.
Yeah.
On your state formula, you show the revenue at 21,127 at the top, but you only show 8,000 in expenses at the bottom. Is that because of the timing of the year, or?
No, because part of that is we put towards salaries. Part of that money we are putting towards salaries.
Okay, so this is the non-salary portion?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
And all the grants, which when we apply for them, they all have like a notice of award opportunity. There are expenses per grant, and every grant is different of what you can spend money on. But for all of them, except for the state formula, we can't spend money on food. We can't spend money on any large purchases have to be approved through the grant managers. Large meaning like over $5,000 have to go through the grant managers and have prior approval. And but they all have their own set of stipulations per grant. Any other?
Lease purchase for the Ford. That one, the fleet never,
Well, we had,
they never said, oh, well, we can get rid of that and get you something else on fleet or
no, not in the first round.
on the equity. Okay. Cause I figured it would be semi-new.
Right.
They should probably be looking at a year 3 or 5, maintaining that value to kick it back out.
Right.
Bring us something back, so. It's equity fleet, so they're supposed to be watching and making sure we're not just spending
So
money,
that's
retain money.
That's right. Since we've only had 1 year, 1 round, then this one wasn't chosen initially for the initial round.
Workforce development grant, we did, and I don't know if this will come to fruition or not, but the state did make mention at our Association of Local Health Departments meeting last week that there is I guess a good possibility of a 2.0 for that workforce development grant. And the money that we have used for that is like our electronic health record. We paid for that through 2027, which was it's a lot of money that, so we are paid up on that. And we also use it for training. So if we've had any conferences that we've had, probably the whole time that I've been at the health department, have come out of grant funding to send people to training. Through stuff like that, but that's just a little bit of history or.
Did you say your electronic health is paid through 2027 right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
It is. But we were able to take it out of that grant specifically because it focuses on data modernization. Guys.
Looking for grants, I guess.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have time for a 5-minute break.
Call a
Is that
recess.
okay, or?
Yeah.
Already took mine.
I was gonna grab something to drink.
Oh, okay.
Way to run ahead of schedule.
Too late.
Sure, we have at least 4 minutes.
Oh, okay, hi.
Hi. You're next.
I'm next, okay. Thinking about the 2027 budget, which is pretty tough to wrap your head around sometimes. I don't think that we have any equipment purchases anticipated because nothing is really malfunctioning at the moment. But we always do try to keep in the back of our minds possibly one computer, just in case something goes wrong. We've replaced within the last 3 years everyone's computer except I think mine, so we're in pretty good shape there as far as equipment goes, I think. List any anticipated personnel changes. We have been short one administrative one position since April 9. We've offered the position, we went through rounds of interviews 3 times now. We've offered the position twice, and they've turned us down. After they ask the starting wage, then they turn us down. We've offered the position to an applicant this previous Friday, who has agreed to come work with us contingent upon successful background check results, which I'm not worried about, and determining a starting wage. So I'm hopeful that she might agree to come work with us. Any unique situations in our office that would affect the remainder of the 2026 budget or for the 2027? Again, we don't have any large purchases anticipated for 2027. We have been trying to be really frugal and try to keep down costs wherever we can. One place we've kind of tried to really be frugal in is we're only publishing what is required by state statute to publish, which is 96% of our budget. 96% of our budget is, and I kid not, I've got the pie chart to show you. 96% is mandate driven. The rest of the 4% is what I get to play with. But other than personnel services, all of the rest of the budget is mandated by state statute, things that I required to do. And so things that are not required by state statute, like advertising days closed, things like that, we've just been doing that on our website and on Facebook. Different things, we've been trying to be very conservative there. We do have 2 employees that will be receiving raises for added job duties, or not will be receiving, I will be asking for some raise increases yet this year for 2 employees who have taken on additional duties. And so that might affect the personnel services line for starting out in 2027. But I think I've already discussed that with Tina and kind of like let her be in the loop as far as what's on the horizon for those 2 people. I think in a nutshell, when we evaluate our budget, again, I've said it before, and you guys know this, our people is where our value is, their knowledge, their skills, their experience. We are kind of unique in that I'm not just asking the employees in our office to be tax clerks. I'm not asking them to know everything there is to know only about tax payments and receipting, and escrow payments and things like that. I'm asking each of the people in my office to know everything there is to know about tax, which I feel like our pay scale is very appropriate for that. But also, they need to know everything there is to know about vehicles, titles, out-of-state, in-state titles, all of the rules, all the regulations, and how to legally transfer that ownership for $90,000 Dodge trucks. And don't mess that up, because that's a lawsuit waiting to happen, so you gotta do it right. I'm asking them to know everything there is to know about driver's licensing. And that's, the state of Kansas has the Real ID requirement, which is a federally accepted form of identification. There's incredibly difficult criteria to making sure that you're issuing someone a credential that is valid, that's not fraudulent, that you're not dealing with fraudulent documents. So it is very, very hard in what we expect each person in our office to, the duties that they're needing to take care of, whoever walks through the door with whatever issue is going to be taken care of at the wage that we have. It's very difficult. Having said that, we do get special motor vehicle, some of the fund, some of what we do is funded through that special motor vehicle, and that has been not fully funding the operations of our office. So even though 2/3 of what we do is motor vehicle, which is an agent of the state of Kansas, the funding that they were allowing was not enough to fully float that program, those services. So what they did is they had Senate Bill 325 that allowed an additional fee to be added that is retained here by the county to help fund vehicle services. So we turn over every June, and I've been working with the number for turning it over this week. Every June we turn over vehicle funds to the general, because we're all paid through HR so that they can do all of the benefits and everything through HR. So once a year we turn over vehicle funds to general. And so this will allow next June the amount that we turn over to be significantly more, which ultimately means that we're not supplementing the vehicle services with ad valorem tax dollars, which is important. It's really important, because you guys want to keep the mill levy low. You guys want to not put an undue burden on our taxpayers, and we don't want that either. And so we really went to bat. It took 6 years to get a bill passed to help fund motor vehicle services.
Sedgwick County.
They were a leading force. Brandy Bailey, the Sedgwick County treasurer, she went through the fire.
100 and some employees.
Yeah, and it was awful. And I didn't want to see us get here. When I kind of I'm evaluating that we were probably working about $60,000 in the red. I could only evaluate, I was only involved, so I could only look at 2024 and 2025. 2025 number I think is a little bit higher than that, but I think about 60,000 in the negative. So the $5 fee that was allowed, that was kind of allocated with the Senate Bill 325, allowed us to get back to where I think we'll be operating in the black. Having said that, we've tried to cut some of our budget line items to try to justify just a bit of an increase in our personnel services, because it's really, really hard to ask these ladies to do all the things that we are asking them to do for the wage that we're offering. And so then we lose people. And then we're back to square one, trying to train people and trying to get them up to where they know enough to adequately help our customers. And that's hard. You guys know when you walk into our office and bring us your stuff, we gotta know what we're doing. We've gotta be able to, do it right and not mess it up, or there's gonna be problems, liabilities, lots of pretty serious repercussions. So it's been a bit of a struggle. So like contractual services, I felt like we did not need to go up from our 2025 actual. I felt like contractual services is the hardest one because I pay all of our publications out of that. So the delinquent real estate publication is easily in excess of $12,000 each year. There's a delinquent personal property publication. There's quarterly reports that are by statute have to be published. There are just innumerable things. We have our contract with Momentum out of that budget. We have a lot of things. But I think if we're pretty frugal, I think we can cut that just a little bit. Commodities, I felt like probably had to stay about the same. We still have to mail out receipts, so that's envelopes, that's paper, that's all the things, which is also not cheap, and it's going up, but I think we can stay the same and be okay with that about. And capital outlay, again, I don't anticipate any big purchases, so I feel like we could probably go down to just $2,000 for that one. I think we'll be okay there. And then I think on my treasurer's tech also, I felt like that one we can probably keep fairly low. We're hoping around to keep it at the 3,800. I think we should not need to go up over 4,000 on that one. And we're going to be really careful so we don't have any go over at all in our budget. We're going to be really careful, but I think that is doable. And I hope that means that I can try to get some of the people that have taken on a bunch of extra duties and were never compensated for it, that I can kind of get them where they should have been. And I'm late to the game. I have not been here. I wasn't here at the beginning when those people were hired. So I wasn't at the beginning trying to get them up to the wage that they should be making according to all of the duties they took on. Does anybody, I don't know if I have really explored it. And I think the other thing is that nobody really knows what we do because nobody really knows what the other offices do either. But I know the work that the people in my office do. I know the burden that they have and the skill level that they use, and I think that's the thing there. Maybe the department heads are the only ones who really know exactly what those employees do all day, every day, and what it takes to get the jobs done. So I'm glad to give input on that anytime. Yeah. Do you guys have questions for me?
So you feel like that $5 transaction fee is getting you?
Yeah, according to the numbers, yes. Yeah, and to be clear, the statute allows a treasurer to go anywhere from 0 to 5. When we crunched the numbers, we thought we needed at least $4 extra per transaction to make up the shortfall. But again, this is not for a full year. We were, for a full year, about 60,000 in the hole. From July 1 is when this starts, and so July 1 through December is all we get for this year, and it sunsets after 2 years. So we knew we had been operating at a loss for a long time. And we figured if we were able to take advantage of the $5, that might make us whole for this year. And looking forward to the next year, perhaps we could stay. And we're really hoping that they will extend it. I mean, if you guys have input, please let them know. This was something that was a very big need for a long time.
With the with that $5 fee initiative to bring the bigger trucks back.
The commercial vehicles, it depends. Yes, I mean.
You get that additional fee for those things too, right?
Yeah, and I would have to train someone, I'd have to send somebody to training, and I'd have to get probably more than one. I'd have to send them to training to get them done, because we have nobody in office that knows the process anymore. Susan was the last one that knew. So, yeah, so we definitely could, but we would need to get the training and be able to adequately pay a person for taking that on as well. Right now, we don't have we don't.
We're already short one.
We're already short. We're about half staff, and if somebody's we're half staff with vacations, during the summer and people sick and things like that. So we're doing the best we can, but we're running behind half the time. And to be clear, that something that I think is important about that bill is before the fees retained by the county, just to kind of run this by you, 75 cents of the registration fees. Now, the registration is anywhere from $30 to $40 for your vehicle. 75 cents of it stayed here. The rest goes to the state. For a title fee, $10 is the fee. $2 stayed here. Like $8 went to the state. And that's been the same. So the 75 cents has been the same for 50 years. It has not changed until this year. 50 years we've gotten 75 cents.
And the vehicle registration 50 years ago was only $3.
Yeah, it
And
was
we
not
got
very much. It was not very much,
So
yeah.
we're probably getting
We're looking at a percentage.
percent of it. Now we're getting 0.001% of it.
And every time the registration fee went up, we kept the same amount and we sent more to the state. The county, so to be clear also, the county service fee didn't change since 2007 when it changed from $3 to $5. So that had not changed. The difference is that with the implementation of movers in 2012, the state said, okay, now, we used to buy all of your printers, we used to buy your scanners, we used to buy, all of your equipment. We're not doing that anymore. So now you have to pay for it. And we are also gonna mandate what kind of printers and equipment you can use. So we can't shop around for a better price. You get what you get, and we mandate you do it, and you have to buy it. Then they also used to approve all of our titles. So once you came into our office and we did the title work, we would bundle them up and send them to the state. Someone at the state would approve it. Then they said, we're not doing that anymore. You need to have someone in your office that's trained and able to approve those titles and taking the time to do it. And so that's on you too. So since 2012, more and more of the financial burden and the time burden and all of the workload has been put back on the counties, but no more money to operate with. So that's
like you're the USPS version of on the state level versus the federal level. We're here, can't make any money and wonder why, and then they get griped at for being broke.
Yes. I mean, it's crazy. It's just crazy. And so that's kind of snowballed since 2012. And so again, for the last 6 years, they've been trying to get this to happen. They finally got it through this year, and so a little bit more money will stay here at the county to help us run those.
Unfortunately, that bill shifts that cost back on the taxpayer instead of.
It does. So that was the original bill 6 years ago. They said, hey, we'd like to add a fee so that we can keep enough money here to run you know, the vehicle services that you're asking us to do. They said, no way, we are not gonna support a fee bill. Okay, so then they worked on it a little bit more. At one point, they said, okay, we're sending we're collecting $30. It's going to, the Department of Revenue for, you know, mostly, can we just keep more of that? Not any more to the vehicle owner, let's just keep more here. And they said, what the problem with that is it goes from, not directly to KDOR, it goes through, another entity, and that other entity came in with a non-biased, report and pretty much turned their minds, and they said, no, because they didn't want to relinquish any, they didn't want to receive any less money. And we explained, no, you just don't turn over as much to KDOR, and they said, no, that's not gonna work. So they've tried over the years many ways to try to fully fund vehicle services that the state is asking us to do. This is the way they finally succeeded, is by saying, okay, it's gonna
cost the taxpayers.
it's gonna be, well, no, I take that, I would like to clarify, not exactly. So working in the whole kind of costs the taxpayer, because we're having to supplement the work we're doing with taxpayer dollars.
Right.
By adding a $5 fee, if my daughter has a vehicle, she's gonna pay that $5. She doesn't own a home, she doesn't own land, she doesn't pay taxes for real estate or property. It's, if you
Personal
own a
property.
vehicle, you chip in $5 more so that we can do your work here.
Those that have more, pay more.
Yes, yeah, so I get where it kinda, it's true, I mean, like, everybody pays sales tax, everybody, you know, does that kind of thing, but this one was a little bit different in that it was saying, you know, whether you own property in Marion County or, you know, personal property or real estate, we're not gonna be taking your money, you know, that way. What we're gonna say is, like, for each vehicle you own, you're gonna pay $5 more, that's gonna help us to continue to offer these services here at Marion County. Yeah, I think that's the best way to explain it.
Right. It is a good way to put it, because some people rent houses, they don't pay any property taxes.
They might have 12 vehicles,
Landlord
they
pays
just rent.
taxes, but
Yes, I know, it's somewhat applicable.
it doesn't put it on the landlord, it puts it on the renter.
Exactly, yes, I think that's the best way I can think of it, as, yeah, but definitely the way it has been going, with us not really having, like, we have the demand and the need for all the services, but we haven't had enough to fully fund it, so then, you know, it's getting paid out of general, which is, yeah. So this is actually trying to avoid the taxpayers floating the services, that's what we're trying to avoid.
Classic exercise of unfunded mandates.
Yeah.
One reason why there's $3 billion sitting in the state's general fund.
Interest, how do you decide where you're putting the money at, which bank?
Yes, sure, yeah, so we also are trying really hard to manage where our money is to get the highest interest rate. We recently did do a transfer from one account that was at 2.7% interest, and we shifted our money over to a 3% interest bank account, leaving quite a bit in, because the one bank is our working bank. We wanna make sure we have plenty of money in there to pay the bills. But we are trying very hard to stay on top of and maintain the highest interest rate we can find. We have
Do it by yourself, or?
Yeah.
Who part of you?
Me. Yeah, sorry.
Good job.
Yeah.
County treasurer has always done that.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
And you're doing an excellent job.
Yeah.
Something about the $3 billion got brought up, but state treasurer is actually coming up with a lot of money off of that money while it's sitting there in limbo.
Right.
And helping to not need to take so much from us.
They took it from us originally, though, way back in 2004.
Interest on our own money.
He doesn't have any say on sending it back to us, but he has say on making money so that they have more money to not need more money from us.
They kept it because they said they knew how to do that better than we did.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm done.
Yeah,
Thanks, Tina.
Good job.
Yeah, thanks.
ready for me?
Yes.
Save the best till last.
I think there's one more after me.
Yeah, we already did.
Oh, well then you save it Tina till
We got
last.
them all done.
No, we already, we were ahead of schedule, so we just kept on bumping them through.
Good.
So just before Kevin starts, just one thing to keep in mind. As the way that we have our account line items set up right now for, we call courthouse, it includes some facility stuff for different buildings, and it includes a lot of general operating expenses for the county as a whole. And so one thing that we're gonna try to do is separate out portions of that. So what is in the packet and like some of these account line items that are in here are just proposed. I haven't spoken with Ashley or Kathy about setting up specifically this, but but what we did is just looked at the facilities pieces of that for Kevin's presentation, and then the rest of the county general portions will come on a later day. Will be addressed on a later day, so.
So the first thing I have is the maintenance truck. It's 2003 is what I got. It's on its last leg, so I'm needing something to replace that. I have 9 facilities that I counted that I'm taking care of now. And so I do a little driving around. I'm here and there. Anticipated personnel, I'm hoping to hire a part-time maintenance position, and that could be summer or winter when we have snow removal in the winter, lawn maintenance in the summer. That would be very helpful. And then she talked about splitting the budget. So right now, I'm anticipating a lot. I went around with the adjuster. I'm anticipating a lot of roofing replacement and repairs and building repairs because of the hail damage. The claim's still pending. We don't know what insurance is going to come back on that. But I know at least 3 roofs that will need total replacement this year, including the courthouse roof. Looks like it might need complete replacement. I think it's good to plan for the long-term needs across all of the departments that I work with, all the facilities. I know we're going to do some stone repair and renovations on the east side of the courthouse. I'd like to continue that side by side at least until it's all done. So I'd like to do another side this coming year, as well as the one we already had planned. The parking lot and handrail improvements that we're doing, I haven't got any quotes back on that, so I'm not sure what that's gonna cost, but that's in there for this year as well. We also have a lot of sidewalk that needs replaced on the east side, or the west, west side. West side, east side.
Yeah, west, I think.
West side. Yeah. Yeah, the west side, we have a lot of damaged curbing, a lot of damaged sidewalk there. I'd like to get that done after the exterior work, because they bring in that big lift, it's going to cause more damage. I'm thinking that's what some of that existing came from, is the lift we had here before. So that will need replaced after we get that exterior work completed. Right now, we have a fully functioning elevator. They've been telling us for a lot of years that it needs replaced. It's just something to keep in mind, that it may need repaired or replaced. It is getting older, as well as the HVAC systems here and the annex and the courtroom are all, the HVAC is getting old. They need a lot of repair and some of them replaced. I know the coil for the courtroom unit, somebody had taken a pressure washer and actually washed that thing out, and so, before me, and so it's all smashed in, so the coil's not working as it should. It's not getting the airflow. So, talking to the HVAC technician, he said you could replace that coil a lot cheaper than just doing the whole unit, so that's kind of a future plan that we had. So other than that, I think we have everything on this sheet here. It has up on the
Your note down there at the bottom of your janitorial, is that what the Janny King figured? Or was that the old number?
So I put that in here. I was just going over what is making, I was trying to figure out what was facilities related versus just overall general expenses for the current year budget. So this is current year kind of estimated of the 2026 budget, because in the contractual line item for what we call the courthouse line, we had 535,000. And so I was just trying to see of that, how much is actually should be facilities. The remainder, which that is really small, it's hard to see, but the remaining 405,000 would be in the regular general fund. So that's what those numbers are, just trying to figure out for this year's budget, how the breakdown is.
So it's not Jenny King's number, it's this
No.
year's, this year's number, next year would be.
It'll be lower, yeah.
Okay.
And just in this budget worksheet here, Kevin and I worked together a little bit because he has never done a budget before. And then we also had this issue of having to try to split the courthouse funds to develop a specific facilities department, which we haven't had before. All of the numbers I just left the same. We did not increase anything. So basically in this area, we just looked at what we currently have that is facilities related. And then as of right now, that is the exact number that is in for 2027 as well.
So that's really all I had on that.
Everything looks real nice everywhere, with different facilities. You're doing a good job keeping up
Thank you.
appearances.
Appreciate that.
On your truck, do you need one that has a toolbox on it, so you carry?
It would be really nice to have a toolbox.
Nap-eyed bed.
I need a tow package. I do take the utility trailer once in a while, not all the time, but a tow package would come in handy, and a toolbox would come in handy, but it's not completely a necessity. I mean, it depends on if you have the single cab like I have now, or if you get a double cab like it sometimes have, or even an extended cab, you can.
Got an extra pipe wrencher.
Yeah.
Get it all done.
A place to put my tools, but
A nap-eyed bed though, I mean, you're talking another $7-8 grand.
I'm not gonna keep my tools in the truck all the time.
You're better off with something like that, like a roll-up bed. And pack out systems with deck downs. slap your pack outs in there, and then that way you can pack out, set out.
If you just got the tonneau cover.
The roll-up tonneau.
Yeah. So that would work.
The backflip 4 is, it'll hold 500 pounds on top of it. And then
That's what I have it on my personal truck is the backflip, and they were really good.
Four-door.
Talked about whether or not you need a Tommy lift or something.
That would really come in handy when you're talking about battery powered equipment and,
if you didn't have a Tommy lift, you'd want a crane.
well,
The Tommy lift would be way more.
if you're hauling
practical.
buffers around or lawnmower, anything, and trying to lift them in a truck by yourself, it's,
And probably I think the heaviest thing, didn't you say like one of the heavier things that you haul around is the ice melt, like the pallet of ice melt and stuff like that?
yeah, that pallet was 2,500 pounds, so it was
Cases of paper.
weighing down to 3/4 ton, but, the paper is delivered right now,
Each location.
but, the ice melt, I do run to Hillsboro usually and pick that up, or wherever it's cheapest, but I pick that up and they'll forklift that on there, so, I mean, that one's 3/4 of a ton truck, and it was squatting pretty good with 2,500 pounds.
What's the last year? 2 years, the more miles you drive.
Yeah, a good truck should last 10 or more years, yeah.
Or have a good resale value for our fleet
Yeah.
if we do it faster.
Yeah.
Get.
Retain the equity.
Yes.
Sometimes they wanna get rid of them a little quicker if you do the fleet.
Yeah.
Just because of the value. But
You don't want the value to drop, otherwise you're not taking advantage of the program.
Risky to be justified.
One thing we did add in there is a line potentially to start putting in funds for long-term repair, replace for facilities related items. And that number is just blank right now, it's got a highlight on it, because that'll be determined by you all as far as we have more discussions and as the budget shapes up to see what we could potentially start putting there.
I don't think there's enough money in that capital outlay to buy another lawnmower.
no, I think I did have,
No, there's not.
I had to.
you just had to go,
It's too quiet in here.
no, but the EMS system or the EMS HVAC system here in Marion is really, it was just a bad install, and it's, they're having to keep, we've been working a little bit trying to get something together on this, but, it condensates really bad. They have to keep that thing running full time just to keep the bedrooms cool, and then it condensates in another place, usually the bathroom, but, it's, the ductwork's too small, so trying to work out something on that, I don't know.
It's always been a poor design.
It was a really bad,
It's just
If you
tear it up.
think about though, the building has changed use.
Yeah,
So whether or not it was appropriate for the previous building, it's not appropriate for the use that we're utilizing it
and
for.
then they don't have they have all of their medicines and stuff in, basically off of the bay, but there's no air conditioning, no heating, no nothing in, and I think they're supposed to be climate controlled to an extent.
Yeah.
But they're not right now, and that's a problem with them over there as well. So, but with that condensation, you get a lot of mold. Went over with the bleach many times and took care of that stuff, but that's just something else we're looking at for the coming year, trying to get a plan put together for that, so. I'll just think about it. I forgot to mention when I was running through it.
That's right, Mickey had it in his.
Okay, that's good. All right.
I guess we blame Kent for that.
What?
He's the one who went.
Yeah, the rest of us ain't been in the lawnmower.
Oh my.
It was appropriate.
Thank you, Ken. All right.
The mini splits weren't as popular back then either. Now they seem to be the fix-all for everything.
I started going, but, you know, the current HVAC technician says, yeah, you probably don't wanna go with that. Let's try this. So he's trying to put something together now, but we'll see where we go with it, but trying to get something done so that they're not frozen over here and sweating over, and it's just, that's an ideal. Any questions, comments?
I think we just approved that on Monday to move forward with the fix over there, right? When that's Suffields?
No, that's the transfer station.
Transfer station, yeah, I'm sorry.
No, the fix for the EMS station is gonna be a little bit more complicated and quite a bit more expensive than that one.
Been looking at that for a year, haven't
I have, and
Well, not just you, but whoever the
yeah, it's
techs are.
taking a while with the technicians to try to get everything put together, but,
Been that way since I've been on the board. You know, every 6 years.
Mutiny.
open the windows.
When you're worried about the mold now, you know what's growing in there then?
Clorox out.
Better be invested in Clorox.
Better get that deal that's on them infomercials and spray it on there, it all goes away.
Yeah, right. Magic bubble pop.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Ah, jeez. I'm an old man. Bleeding everywhere.
So we will have a few more departments on Monday. We'll also have time to discuss more on the transfer station funding, and we'll have payday, regular business. And county attorney is coming on July 6th for their department. And as we go through, we'll have more designated time during regular meetings to talk about the budget. On Monday, yes, 9 o'clock on Monday. Does anybody have any questions, comments?
I was thinking it was Tuesday meeting, but I guess it was a Monday.
It's Monday because now we're the day before, the last working day.
Yep. Gonna have to get used to that.
Make a motion adjourn.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.